Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the Flatout Racing Network's coverage of the Talladega Nights Racing Mega Team Race in memory of Dean Gautreau. 66 laps of racing here tonight, 40 drivers, 10 teams, 4 drivers each, and when all the points are accumulated, one team will emerge victorious on the night and win the team race overall. We're at the Talladega Nights Super Speedway. I'm Seth Cole. He's Michael Norman, and Michael here tonight.
I am?
No, news to you, huh?
Yep.
Here tonight, 66 laps, no damage, and you and I took the opportunity to run in a heat race as well, get a feel for what these drivers are going to bring to the table, and we know every line works here. They're going to be double wide, they're going to be 3 wide, it's going to be chaos, but at the same time, the aspect of a team race. So you gotta find your friends, find your similar liveried cars, all try to work together because the main goal at the end of the night is you want all 4 of your team cars crossing the line first through fourth.
We don't need anything over the top today. We
Angle?
got a good race car, we got a good driver, we got a good pit crew. All we gotta do is get everybody carried
Sorry,
over.
I was
We'll be just
randomly
fine.
whispered.
Stand
That
forward.
threw me off a little bit.
Feel button.
But yeah, gotta find your friends, gotta team up and Seth, I don't know. Do you want to try to get up to the front really quickly, or do you want to stay in the back?
Yeah, I mean, I think with the fact that it's a no damage race, it opens up the door with strategy, right? Like a lot of people, they like to get to the front because it will keep them ahead of the carnage. A lot of drivers like to fall to the back because it keeps the carnage in front of them. But with there not being damage here tonight, I don't know. You might actually feel like you can be aggressive in any portion of the racetrack and maybe change your strategy up on the fly. It will be interesting to see. Now, I don't know exactly. I don't think we have a full 40 car field here tonight. Certain people on certain teams weren't able to make it this evening. So I think there are a few cars out there, or a few teams, I should say, that are going to be only fielding 3 cars. I think there are a couple of teams that actually are only fielding 2 cars. So the way that they make this all even is they end up then taking the drivers that have less than 4 cars, they average out the finishing result for the drivers that weren't able to show up, and they calculate the points accordingly. But I think it's safe to say that more than likely it's going to be the drivers that have all 4 cars in the field that are going to have the advantage. With that being said, let's say you're a team that's only got 3 cars or 2 cars on your team. It's kind of your friends are where you find them. You're probably going to find one of those 4 car teams out there to work with.
Oh yeah, it's a super speedway race. You want to stay on your toes, try to go out there, position yourself and or your team in the right spot, and try to come home with the victory.
Of course, here tonight, of course, this race being run in
Of
memory of
course,
Dean
tonight here, of
Gautreau.
course.
Huh?
Of course, tonight here, of course.
Yes.
That was your sentence.
I could really confuse you right now, but I'm not
You
going to.
probably could, and I'm afraid that
I
you
could, I
will.
could, I could use my old man methods on you and completely twist your brain, but I don't know if I would do
I
that.
dare you do it.
All right, well, since we have about a minute and a half left in qualifying, a horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course, unless, of course, that horse, of course, is the famous Mr. Ed.
My brain.
All right, well, of course, here tonight as well, this race being run in memory of Dean Gautreau. The race tonight sponsored by Perry Bond, so we appreciate that. Was listening to the coverage of last night's Truck Series race for Primetime Racing League on Tarnation TV. Got a little bit of information about Dean. I never had the pleasure of sharing the racetrack, at least to my general knowledge, with him. I understand he ran most of his career over at ASR, All-Star Racing. But we're going to be hearing in a little bit after we end up having the qualifying results, the driver introductions. We'll be hearing from Gary Mingus some more information about Dean Gautreau. 20 plus years in the NR 2003 online community, and pretty cool that we're running this event here tonight in his honor. Good, hopefully be a good one here tonight as well. I mean, we've seen it before in the past. We've had team races with Talladega Nights here on FRN. They have never disappointed. We are not starved for multi-lane racing, and usually by the end of the night, we end up having a very exciting last lap, sometimes a photo finish, and expecting nothing less here tonight. We are wrapping up qualifying here. If you're keeping score at home, the 10 teams that you're going to be watching tonight duke it out. You've got Team Dean There'll be the purple and white LSU Tiger liveries. You've got Team Evil blue Chevys, Team Pennzoil, Team Mopar, Team Talladega Nights gold Dodges, the Team Talladega Nights white Dodges, and the Team Talladega Nights green Dodges. You'll have Team Monster Racing, the Beast Mobiles, I guess you could call them, the Team Orange I'm on Fire, Pontiac Firebirds, as well as the Team Red Chevrolets. Of course, for those teams, the highest finishing of those respective drivers that accumulate the most points will end up winning the team championship. I believe that we are pretty close to driver introductions here. Michael, you want to do me a favor? Hop on up there, see if they're ready for us?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, waiting for the official word here of when we'll be able to hop up there for driver intros.
Server group assigned.
I believe we now. Yep, I think we've got it. All right, let's see if we can hop up there, and let's see if we can give you your starting lineup for tonight's team race here from Talladega Night Super Speedway.
Channel switched.
Yes.
All right, getting set for tonight's main event of the evening, 66 laps of racing, but who's on what team and where are they starting? Here's tonight's starting lineup.
Starting first, Rodney Sullins from Bentonville, Arkansas, driving the number 38 Team Red Chevy Camaro ZL1. Shout out to John Godfrey. Continued prayers for you, buddy. Get better. And what's up, Dad? Enjoy the race.
Starting second in 662, Greg Lovell from Big Stone Gap. Give a shout out to John. Get well, buddy. He's going to come back racing with us and have fun, everybody.
Starting third, driving the 01, I'm on Fire Thunderbird, Mark Paglia from Gainesville, Georgia. Thinking about you, John. Hope you feel better and get back on the track.
Starting fourth in the 30, driving for the Team Red Chevy, Ken Roberts. Hope you feel better soon, John.
Starting in fifth, Mike Mangialardi, driving the 82 Dodge out of Federal Way, Washington. Get better soon there, John. Want to see you on the track. Shout out to my friends watching at the Rainier Room, and good luck, everybody.
Rolling off six, number 3, Randy Waugh from Huntsville, Alabama, driving the orange Pontiac. Shout out to John. Hope you get better soon. Shout out to Dean, his family. Dean was a good friend. I miss him. And shout out to my sons, Christian and Corey. My grandsons, Adrian, Asher, and Asa. Good luck, guys.
Started 7th in the number 2 Trans Am on Fire, Robert Breedlove from Lancaster, South Carolina. Get better soon, John.
Starting 8th in the 62 Mopar Ram. Get well soon, John. Give a shout out to my kids, Jason Kinsley, and my fiance, Marissa. Let's have a good race, guys.
Going off number in position 9, the 881 Evil Blue Chevrolet, driven by Doug Hulick. Rest in peace, Dean, and thoughts and prayers to all his family and friends. Also, get well, John. And Mike did tell me he was buying the first round at the Rainier Room, so drink up, boys.
Starting 10th in the 0, I'm on Fire, T-Bird, Josh Slocum, Rochester, New York. Thoughts and prayers to Dean and his family, and hope you get better, John, and let's have a good race, everybody.
And 11th, the 43 Pennzoil car from driven by Bob Dixon from Macon, Georgia.
Starting 12th, the 664 Brian Lovell from Big Stone Gap, Virginia. Good luck, guys.
Starting 13th, and the number 60 Mopar. It's Graham McDonald from San Antonio. Good luck, everybody, and hurry back, John.
Gary Minkus.
Starting in the 14th slot, in the number 12 sponsored Dean Gautreau 060 LSU Tiger car, Gary the Slingshot Mingus. I'll be talking to everybody later. My shout outs go out to John Godfrey, and I hope he gets well real soon and gets back to the track with us. And of course, the family of Dean James Gautreau. I remember you well, my friend, for all, and you are in my heart and in my prayers along with your family.
Eddie Carroll from Big Stone Gap, starting somewhere near the back of the 663 Mopar. Good luck, guys.
Dan Lovell driving the 665 yellow team. Just want to say my prayers are with John Godfrey. Hope you get well, friend. And with Dean and his family, you'll be in my prayers. Good luck, everybody. Let's get a good race going on.
Bob Sire.
Starting in the 17th, number 80, Monster Energy Black and Green Dodge out of Freeland, Wisconsin, or Michigan. Thoughts and prayers go out to Dean's family. We're going to miss him.
Qualifying number 18th, number 31, John Wall out of DeBerry, Florida, driving for Team Red Chevy. Condolences to Dean's family and good luck, or get well soon there, John, and good luck to everybody.
19th position, driving a 32 Red Chevy Camaro, Greg Palmer out of Delaware. Good luck, everybody. John, miss you. And rest in peace, Dean.
Starting 20th in the 81 green and black Monster Energy Dodge, Keith Bynum. Prayers and condolences to Dean's family. Over the years, a lot of years in this game, we've all lost friends that play this game, and I still continue to pray for a lot of my friends' families from that. Just it's what friendship's about, and we make bonds and each other, and I hope we continue to do it for many years to come, and may they all watch over us, and wish everyone a good race. Get well soon, John.
Speaking in Perry Bond's behalf, starting in 21st, driving a number 83. You know, he was a great friend with Dean for many years racing, and you know, I'm sure Perry's sad, and Dean will be missed. And he was a good guy, and we're praying for him, his family, and all his friends. And to you, John, get well, buddy. I'm glad I heard you got out of the hospital, so get back on the track as soon as you can. Good luck, everybody.
Starting 22nd is Larry D, driving the 63 Team Mopar car. I want to thank Jeff for what he's doing tonight and what everything he's done in the past. He puts together a great racing family. Shout outs to John Godfrey, get well soon, and my condolences to the Dean family.
Starting 23rd, Garland Oaks out of Bassett, Virginia, driving the 772 Toyota Green for Team Wrecking Ball. Give a shout out to John. Get back on the track soon, and we got a race we need to go to in the fall, so you got to get better. And shout out to them broadcasters. I'll take a couple of hot dogs and a Dr. Pepper in the pits after the race.
Starting 24th out of Sun City Center, Florida, is Frank Divis driving a Mopar tonight. Get well, John, and condolences to Dean's family. And thank you, Jeffrey, for putting this on. And go Team Mopar Dodge.
Starting in the 25th position, Mike Sanders in the car number 11, driving for the Gautreau team. Dean, we're going to miss you. I know you're watching. So this one's for you, my friend. I also want to say good luck to John and get well soon and get back on the track.
Starting in 26, Ulysses No Arms Sandoval driving the 770 Toyota Camry, driving for Team Toyota, for Team Wrecking Ball. A big shout out to Benjamin Snyder, who's watching us right now, and also a big shout out to my favorite broadcasters, Seth Cole and Mikey Norman. Good luck, everybody. It's prime time, baby.
Starting in, let's just go with 28, driving the 882 Evil Blue out of Mooresville, North Carolina, Jeffrey Elliott. I want to thank all you guys for showing up. This race means a lot to a lot of us, and Dean was a dear friend to the Elliots, and we played a lot of golf, did a lot of racing, a lot of talking. Some of these drivers actually met Dean in person, hung out with him, played golf, and all that good stuff. So great guy, well missed, and I'm sure hopefully I'll see him again someday. But and to John, get better, buddy. Appreciate it, what you do for the sim community as well, and we're praying for you and anybody else out there. Let's all hang in there and just enjoy what life we have. So good luck, and let's have a good race.
Starting 29th in the 880 Evil Blue Chevy Camaro, sponsored by Talladega Nights. The driver out of North Springfield, Vermont, Rod Weston. Want to thank Jeff Elliott for keeping this going. These team races are fun. John Godfrey, hopefully you get better soon, get you back in here racing. Didn't know Dean, but rest in peace, buddy. We're going to miss him. Have a good night. Good racing, guys.
Right, start number 30, 45. Pennzoil car, Tom Dixon from Byron, Georgia. Still praying for Dean's family, praying for John get well, brother, and get back on the track with us. And thanks, Tracy, for always watching us.
Starting 34st, number 771, Alex Ortiz. Get well soon, John.
Kelly Coach Kazi.
Starting 33rd, Kelly Causey from Agricola, Mississippi, driving the 55 Pennzoil Chevrolet. Get well soon, John Godfrey, and thoughts and prayers for the Dean family.
Starting 34th, Javier Negron from Bridgeport, Connecticut, driving the 773 Neon Green Toyota Camry, and for Team Wrecking Ball. Shout out to John Godfrey. Get well soon. Let's go.
Starting 35th, number 10, Team Dean car, Gary Hines out of Mount Strong, Kentucky. Prayers for Dean's family and prayers for you, John. Get well, brother.
Starting last is Alex Bowe from Riverside, California, driving the 48 Team Pennzoil Chevrolet. Prayers, rest in peace, Dean Gautreau. Prayers up for his family and for John's recovery.
Well, should be.
All right. There you go, Seth. Didn't mean to cut you off there, bud. I just like to have about a 10-second moment of silence for Dean, if you don't mind. And then are you guys available to move people in this team speaker, or do I need to bring Dean down? Gary Mingus down to you for a few minutes.
I think we can get him.
Yeah, you can do all of it. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. That's great. So, guys, right now, it's about 10 seconds of silence. All right, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Seth.
Absolutely. Best of luck, guys. Obviously, team race, different aspect of racing. And I don't know. It seems like memorial races always have a little bit of added incentive in there as well. So best of luck, everybody.
Thank you, Seth. And once you're done with Gary Mingus back, then we'll go off the time.
Sounds good.
Buddy left your
Seth.
channel. Channel switched.
All right, so drivers will head out onto the track here for a little bit of happy hour, and let's see if we can get a hold of Gary Mingus here, who will be rolling off here tonight in one of those Dean LSU Tigers machines. Let's see if we can dial him up right now.
User was moved.
Gary,
to
Michael,
your
and
channel.
Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
I got you loud and clear, gentlemen.
All right, so we're focusing on one of the cars out there that's going to be sporting the same livery that you're sporting, the Dean Gautreau LSU Tigers, the Fighting Tigers, we were told is what the team name is here tonight. But, myself, obviously I'm sure a number of other people out there in the art community never got the opportunity to race or know Dean. You were able to know him on and off the track. Give us a little insight into the life and the career of one Dean Gautreau.
Well, it all started back about 10, 15 years ago when I started racing with Dean. Back in those days, he was known as Wayfish. That was his screen name because he loved fishing, he loved racing, he loved playing golf, real golf and computer golf, and he was just a friend to a lot of people. He helped out a lot of people with finances and money, and just anybody that was going through hard times. Dean was always there for them. And I was fortunate enough back in 2022 to go back to my hometown in Slidell, Louisiana, and I stayed at Dean's house in Gonzales, Louisiana, in Ascension Parish, and he opened his door to me, and we took him to a crawfish boil that the party had, and oh, we just had a blast and a time together. We played golf out on a golf course over in Louisiana together. Dean and I were like two brothers. We fought and squabbled constantly and then laughed about it afterwards. But I loved him dearly. He was a great friend. Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver back in June and passed away here just a couple of weeks ago at the ripe old age of 62. His wife Tina was a sweetheart. She had to have a high tolerance level to put up with the likes of us for the weekend, but she did great with that. Just he had puppy dogs that he loved, Spiro, and you can't say enough about the guy. He was just a friend to everybody, and he loved everything he did with gusto, and he always wanted to be first and on the top of the game, regardless of which game he was playing, whether it be Bourrée, which is a card game that the Cajuns play, and cooking. He loved all of that stuff, and that was my brother, Dean Gautreau, Dean James Gautreau.
Yeah, it's incredible to me. You would think that more than likely you'd cross paths with, an our online driver at least once during the course of a year or 2 years. And the way that the Enter 2003 online community is so widespread with all sorts of different leagues, the fact that up until this past week, I had never heard of Dean. What were some of the leagues that maybe somebody may have run in, didn't realize that they were racing with Dean? Where were some of the specific leagues that Dean usually frequented?
There was Afterburner. There was SMO. There was AS Star most recently that he was with, or I say recently that he was with for quite a long time, and Carolina Classics Racing with Tex Watson and that bunch over there. And Dean just, if you put on a race, especially a super speedway race, you could bet Dean was going to be there, and he was ready to rock and roll.
A lot of people don't realize as well. Obviously, Enter 2003 is sim. It's been around since late 2002. But I think people fail to realize, and you alluded to it, it's happened with me as well. A lot of the people that we end up meeting with as just a voice when we race online here in this series, eventually we end up meeting them in real life. To your point there with Dean, becoming long friends and everything. I mean, the fact that this particular sim, with all the racing, all the competitive that goes on there, though, lifelong friends are made.
Well, every time that I was planning a trip back to my hometown in Louisiana, which I still have a sister lives over there, first thing I do is call Dean and say, Dean, I'm coming. And he came down last year about this time to Slidell because we were having a class reunion birthday party for everybody that was turning 69 or 70. And he came down and played golf with me for that. And the guys that I went to school with, plus a couple of the ladies that played golf, got to meet him, and they just thought the world of him. He was a lot of fun. He was always ready to have a good time, and that's just Dean Gautreau. That's him.
Well, Gary, obviously, we appreciate you coming down here, spending a little time with us, giving us a little insight into the life and the online career of Dean Gautreau. A great memorial race here tonight. Cannot wait to see what happens. We understand, unfortunately, the Fighting Tigers are a little outnumbered here tonight, but, it's super speedway racing. Anything can happen. Hopefully we can see one of those LSU liveried cars in victory lane at the end of the night. But man, appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, and best of luck here this evening.
Well, we've got two good racers, and Gary Heiser and Michael Sanders, and they're outstanding drivers. They're just good quality stuff. And, we figured we'd give everybody a break with just 3 on our team. And that way those 4 team guys, they would have a chance. So we'll team up, get to the front and try to hold it there and do the best we can. And just dedicate everything to the memory and the love that Dean Gautreau has spread throughout the NASCAR 2003 community.
Well, absolutely. Well, best of luck here tonight. Go get him a slingshot.
Thank you, sir.
Gary Mingus going to be one of the representatives, as we heard there, of the Fightin' Tigers, one of 10 teams represented here tonight. Just checking in our chat here. Benjamin Snyder raced with Dean Gautreau in ASR. CCR, I did hear CCR was mentioned as well last night. FSB also. Tried to do a little bit of research. Obviously, as I mentioned, I never got the opportunity to race with Dean, but I did tune in last night to the broadcast on Tarnation TV. Blaine Donlin, Jeffrey Elliott were talking about Dean and mentioned about his racing over in Afterburner, ASR, CCR as well. It's interesting, Michael, when you consider the fact with a memorial race. I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, never raced with him, never shared the track with him, but with hearing the background there from Gary Mingus, I feel like I've raced with him for the last couple of years, just with the information that we received.
Yeah, it's always tough when a friend passes away, let alone a fellow racer. So I'm hoping that these guys will be able to put on a good show in his honor tonight. And Seth, have you been told is tonight's technically Talladega Nights? Because from what I'm seeing, it's been rebranded.
It has been rebranded. So for those that are wondering about this, yes. Talladega Nights, what was originally Talladega Nights, has now migrated over to Prime Time Racing League. However, the billing here tonight is this is under the Talladega Nights branding. So hence why why it's got that as the title here tonight.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I'm in the loop.
There you go.
Because you keep me out of the loop all the dang time. Oh, hello, Tarnation TV. How you guys doing tonight?
There we go. We got Blaine. So we got Blaine in the chat, and we got Rod Weston in the field here tonight. So we got the commentary duo here. Back from Toronto, would have been racing if not for the long distance road trip. I understand that, Blaine. Completely understand.
They're dead. They were coming into the pits.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing. I mean, no damage here tonight, so hopefully if we end up having stack-ups or, a slight bump gone wrong with drivers in different braking zones, it shouldn't take a driver out of the race. I think that was...
you said braking zones, and I'm thinking, this is a super speedway. Where do they brake?
We don't brake coming into pit road, silly!
We just let off and brake.
You have 2 pedals. You have an accelerator and a clutch. Good luck on figuring out how the braking works.
Good luck on pitting. What is pitting? We don't know what that is.
Pitting? Looks like we got zeros on the clock here for happy hour, so we're moments away from getting ready to go green.
Seth. What is pits? Joshua, don't spin me.
Joshua, don't hurt me. He's not in the field here tonight. You can't heckle him.
I can't, no, but it's funny.
It is funny, but he's not here to be able to defend himself, and he's not here to be able to maybe mess up with hot pitting so you can make fun of him again.
Defending yourself? What is that in today's world?
Crying?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Anyways, there's a race happening in 15 seconds.
There is indeed. Oh, little bump right there. That was Ken Roberts in the 30 coming down into Doug Kulik in the 81. The last team race that we did here on FRN, I gave a disclaimer, and I'm going to give it again. All the drivers for each specific team have the same livery. The only difference is their numbers. So I may be a little bit slow in calling out who each driver is. There was also a little bit of shuffling of drivers to certain teams due to the fact that we weren't able to quite get a full 40-car field here tonight. So I'm just going to beg your indulgence for possible mistakes that I make, because I may end up seeing a number as one thing when it ends up being another. So we'll try and get this all correct here tonight. But then again, human nature, and when it comes to me, you've got about a 95% increase of mistakes. So that's why Michael's here.
And with the because I was gonna say with the two of us, that increases to 99.8.
Oh, I was hoping you were the one that was going to remedy my mistake.
When does that ever happen?
When there's a Z in the month?
I don't know.
I like how the Grand Marshal's just like, stop this conversation. I'm calling the engines to be fired so we can get this thing rolling. So Rodney Sullins going to be on the front row here tonight alongside of Greg Lovell. Sullins out of Team Chevy, and Lovell out of the Talladega Nights Gold Dodges. Well, we got the opportunity here under this pacing lap to want to echo what we heard majority of the drivers in the driver introductions tonight say, sending out our thoughts and prayers to one John Godfrey. Obviously a driver that we see quite a bit over here at Talladega Nights or Primetime Racing League. If you tuned into our coverage of Thursday night's Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge race, John Godfrey was on the grid but did not take the green literally just a few seconds before gridding up. John Godfrey ended up having a medical emergency, was admitted to the hospital. Rodney Sullins kept us updated on the Facebook group. We have word, I believe it was this morning, Godfrey is back home. Hopefully he is doing well. John, if you're tuned in here tonight, welcome. We hope you're feeling better, and we want to see you back out there on the racetrack. Michael needs to be able to say his Gilbert Godfrey thing. I guess that's the only reason he'd want you on the track.
It brought tears to my eyes.
But yeah, get well soon, John, and we look forward to seeing you back out racing once again. All right, 66 laps of racing. Obviously, the first goal is find all your teammates. Try and get yourselves all lined up, and then plan your strategy accordingly.
I found my teammate.
You found your teammate?
Yeah, he's right next to me here up here in the booth.
Your teammate won a heat race here tonight.
Barely, because everybody wrecked behind him.
Had a great battle with Larry D in one of those heat races there.
Yeah, but you're lucky there was no intent wrecking, because I was so close to doing it.
Hey, I had my wheelman Ulysses that helped get me that win.
He was trying to wreck you.
Okay. He might have been, but I don't know. I think the good side willed out. Here we go, though. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing here tonight in memory of Dean Gautreau. A lot of those orange, I'm on fire, Firebirds rather, up there towards the front. They're all kind of mix-matched on their specific lines, though, so they gotta all try and slice and dice their way to get lined up. Rodney Sullins, about kitty corner right now to another fellow.
Already,
someone warped. One of the blue Chevrolets, I think, just warped up into the field, and caution is out.
Oh yeah, that was definitely.
And we're still wrecking.
One of Doug Heulick. Thank gosh that there's no damage.
Wow.
Because that would have taken out half the field before the race even fully started.
And we had about 3 or 4 barrel rolls right there out of turn 4 as well. That is the 773 of Javier Negron. He'll get turned back around. Up ahead is the 881. That's Doug Heulick, the car you said was warping. Yeah, good call on the no damage, because we probably would have had upwards of a dozen drivers already out of the race, because that was right up inside of the top 10.
Yep.
Caution out. Rodney Sullins picked up the caution flag. He'll pick up the pace car going into turn 3. Let's jump back and take a look at what happened here. And Heulick was running, I think at the time, somewhere around the 7th position, I want to say. Not exactly sure who the first car was that was caught up. We'll focus on Gary Mingus in the 12. And watch down the inside line. You see that gap right there? All of a sudden, Hewlick reappears. He's up into the 0. Oh, man, one of the yellow or the gold Dodges took a big hit there. I think that was Denny Carroll came down across traffic, got clobbered in the driver's side door. Bunch of others collected up in this one as well. We'll get some more camera angles here. Yeah, watch here. We'll focus on the 663 of Denny Carroll right there. Gets clipped up into the 80. One of the Monster Energy cars. Ooh, big hit there from one of the Toyotas. That was the 772. I believe that was Garland Oaks. Saw quite a number of the Monster Energy cars involved in that. A couple of the Pennzoil Chevrolets were also in it. Let's see if we can get an onboard. This is with one of the Monster Energy cars. This is the 83 of Perry Bond.
Very tough and big wreck.
Wow. 0 up and over. Oh, wow. One of the Fightin' Tiger cars actually was sliding on 2 wheels before eventually flipping onto its roof. I believe that was Michael Sanders. Another of the cars that went up and over was the 00 of Josh Slocum and one of the I'm on Fire Pontiac Thunderbirds. Here's focused on the 11 of Mike Sanders. Watch right here as he gets clipped, and it looked like maybe he'd be okay, but then just kind of that counterweight, the momentum flipped him up onto his roof. Saw the 55 of Kelly Causey.
Believe we might be coming to the 1 to green signal this time by. Nobody is a lap down.
Yeah, I think another good thing, too, that I saw was nobody ended up on their roof, so they didn't have to call a tow. So everybody should be, to your point, good to go and on the lead lap. Really, the only thing that you really have to worry about in a wreck like this would be tires possibly wearing, either with getting spun out or getting hard on the brakes to avoid. Kelly Causey was not involved in the wreck at all. He just woed it right down. He found the brake pedal, Michael. I don't know what you're talking about.
No brakes, it's only a legend.
What if your brakes was just like the Fred Flintstone car where you had to just take your feet, push it down into the pavement to slow your car down?
Well, goodbye feet. I don't.
Goodbye
'cause
knees.
I would rather die.
You just might.
I don't know, Seth. Would you rather use your feet to stop a 65-mile-an-hour car, bare feet, or would you rather take a splinter up the toenail?
Now the question is, would you rather have no legs or no arms like Ulysses?
Answer my question.
I just answered your question with a question.
I hate you.
But then if I gave you an answer, I'd have to ask a question, and that's Jeopardy. That's wrong.
You have to answer in the form of a question. You have to question in the form of an answer.
You have to question in the form of an exclamation. So Greg Lavelle. Actually, I think if I remember correctly, back when I first started broadcasting, I ended up calling them, I called Greg and Dan and Eric, I called them Lavelle. And then I found out that actually it's Lovell. It's kind of like when JTN first called Cody Lamas Cody Yamas.
And then you just ran with it.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, back when I did offline and Cody signed up for Sirius, I originally called him Llamas as well. Because if you take Spanish in high school or in college, immediately you see the double L, and the instinct is to pronounce it as a Y. So
Oh, really? Where did you get that instinct from? Because I see double L, I just go, whoa.
Really?
Yes, I don't ever think of ya.
Yeah, because, like, if you're asking what somebody's name is, it's Comote Llamas, and it's actually spelled, Llamas is spelled as Llamas is. So, I don't know, just like the Spanish course trigger takes place where you're like, oh, that's Llamas. So I guess Joe and I had the same issue. So a couple of Dodges will be on the front row for this upcoming restart. Greg Lovell in the 662, the gold Dodge, and then the highest running of the Monster Energy Dodge Challengers. That's Mike Mangialardi. We'll have a couple of the Pontiac Firebirds behind them. Randy Waugh in the 3, and Robert Breedlove in the 02. I'm trying to look through here real quickly, see if there's any team cars lined up. There's a couple of the red Chevys back there that are nose to tail. That might possibly be Ken Roberts and Rodney Sullins, who we saw up at the front for the initial start. Yep, that's exactly who that is. So they'll at least be nose to tail. But they're the only ones that are really lined up nose to tail for team cars inside of the top 12, top 14. So again, much like at the initial start of this race, everybody's going to have to get themselves all organized up here to try and make forward progress, get all of their team cars up to the front of the field. I believe that this is running the same team race type rules as have been done in the past, so you're going to see during the course of these caution periods a lot of team cars stay out, give up track position to be able to lead a lap, because every lap led per driver is an extra bonus point towards the team. So they're going to be going for those bonus points also, as we had something happen there at the back. Somebody, I think, came to pit road, and now the latter half of the field is all trying to figure out where they need to be, but Flagman's going to put us under the green flag nonetheless.
Is not, God, CCR M. Sanders back there was having a little bit of an issue.
Oh, Michael Sanders?
But he's going now. That was the only problem right there, I guess.
Yep, there
something
he is.
with the 11.
I wonder if maybe some hardware disconnected, perhaps. Maybe he was trying to find the brake pedal, the legend you were talking about. So he'll be hoping for a caution to be able to catch back up here. Will Michael Sanders. As you saw, middle of this lead group, a lot of moving around. Rodney Sullins jumped from the bottom up to the top. Ken Roberts was not able to go up there with him. Still got the orange Firebird side by side there.
Firebirds?
The Pontiac Firebirds. Robert Breedlove pushing Mike Mangialardi, and then Randy Waugh pushing
Luigi.
Greg Lovell. Behind them, the highest running of the Mopar Dodges. That's Eric Lovell in the 62. And, oh, here we go. Red Chevys have found each other. Rodney. Oh, and there goes Ken Roberts into the wall. He got tagged by one of the Mopar Dodges. Are we still green? Nope, we're under caution. I think they saved it, though. Somehow.
No, they didn't. Danny Carroll's around, Doug Kulik's around again, Ulysses Sandoval, Jeffrey Elliott, and others.
Mike Mangialardi going to pick up the caution here. Second time tonight. There's Ulysses Sandoval getting his car refired. There's Jeffrey Elliott in the blue Chevrolet Camaro tonight. Bob Sire. Doug Kulik, second caution he's been involved in so far this evening. And there is Denny Carroll in the 663. Caution going to wave once again. And this one looked like maybe there might have been potential contact between teammates. I think a couple of maybe the Mopar Dodges might have gotten together. We'll go back and take a look. I believe this one might have been Larry D or Graham McDonald getting out of shape. See if we can find the driver that might have been the 61 here. Oh, nope. It was the 63. But you saw right there, Larry D loops it around, gets up into Ken Roberts, grabs a gear, and keeps on going. That was actually pretty impressive. That's why I thought that maybe we had avoided being under the yellow flag, because the 63 was able to keep going. But to your point, Michael,
80.
it's
It all
towards the
happened
back.
behind him. It all happened behind him. A couple cars flipped over. Jeffrey Elliott barrel rolling down.
See if we can find the 882 of Jeffrey Elliott here. Incident takes place up ahead, and then here's the follow-up afterwards. And it looks like Ulysses may have gotten into the back of the 80. Ooh. Big hit there. Jeffrey Elliott up the track into Denny Carroll. There's a wild barrel roll there for Jeffrey Elliott. The 80 of Bob Sire with a late hit into the blue Chevrolet Camaro. And that was all in reaction to what had happened up ahead. I believe they thought that Larry D and Ken Roberts were going to more than likely be spinning in their direction. And some drivers were checking up. They were all pretty close together. So even just the slightest amount of checkup was probably going to lead to a stack up that would have led to that wreck. But everybody was reacting to what they saw up ahead. Here's a look at it from the angle of Ulysses Sandoval. You can see how close he is to the back of Bob Sire, how close Denny Carroll is to the back of Ulysses. Just not really enough room, not enough space for drivers to be able to drag the brake, bail out of the throttle without getting into each other. And again, good news for a number of these drivers that you saw there take some wild rides is the fact that with no damage, they were able to continue on. Now, we are going to point this out. Just because it is no damage does not mean that these drivers are given carte blanche to be able to go out there and cause incident after incident. We have been told that it is a two and park system in terms of causing incidents. So still encouraging these drivers to race clean, but also trying to keep it where everybody can still be in the conversation for the win by the time we get to the end of this race. We talked with Gary Mingus just after qualifying during happy hour, and he's now got one of those Fightin' Tiger Ford Mustangs out in front here to lead a lap. That's the good news for the team. The bad news is you documented, Michael, about the issue there for one Michael Sanders, and it looks like he has taken his car back behind the wall. So I'm almost wondering if maybe he might have lost a gear, maybe a high gear, like third, maybe even fourth gear, and unfortunate end of the night for him, which means that Gary Mingus and Gary Heiser are going to have to do a little bit of extra work here tonight to try and get as many points possible as they can for the Dean LSU Tigers Fords.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even though there's no physical damage to the car, mechanical issues are always still in play.
Mechanical issues, connection issues, yep, they all still are a part of it.
Your face issues.
Well, those are issues that fortunately nobody on our broadcast have to worry about. Can you imagine if we ended up doing face cams?
No. I'm good. Nobody needs to see my ugly face.
That's my thought process exactly. Taking orders for breakfast may need before the race is over. That's a good shout there by Blaine Donlin in our chat as well. This racetrack, of course, people will recognize as Talladega Superspeedway, but it was rebranded, it was retextured with the Talladega Nights graphics and everything by one John Godfrey. You heard during the driver intros a lot of the drivers mentioning what he's done, not only as a racer, but also for the community. A lot of different racetracks out there have been retextured, redesigned by John Godfrey. As a matter of fact, John helped me out this most recent year's SRA Daytona 500. A lot of the graphics that you ended up seeing in the infield grass and everything were done by John. So yeah, he's definitely a key piece into helping make the Air 2003 online community better, whether it's on the racetrack as a graphics designer or on the racetrack as a race car driver, as we've got the lights out and getting ready to go back green. Gary Mingus will be the one to lead us back here for our second restart of the night. He'll have Alex Ortiz, now the highest of the neon green Toyotas, to his outside. Javier Negron will line up in the third spot. Kelly Causey in fourth. Fifth place is going to be Denny Carroll. Sixth, Jeffrey Elliott. Ronnie Sullins will be seventh. Eighth place, Robert Breedlove, Brian Lovell, and Mike Mangialardi will be the top 10.
Will they?
They will.
Will they will?
They will, they will.
Voulez-vous se avoir?
C'est toi?
So glad you knew where I was going with that. Lights off on the pace cars. They head down the back straightaway.
I'll bet you can't name two of the people that sang that, though.
Nope.
I know Pink was one, and I know Christina Aguilera was one.
De toi?
There was a third I knew, and I can't remember who it is now.
Well, that's probably for the better.
People are taking orders in our chat.
I was
Steak,
gonna say, I was just
steak,
about to
egg,
put
and
that.
cheese bagel on a hash brown. Oh,
That's McDonald's right there.
no, you don't get steak from McDonald's. Let's be honest.
I don't know. I
No,
don't know.
no, you don't. It's not steak. It's pretending to be steak, but it's
You
not.
get
It's
steak from
you get
Taco
stick.
Bell too. You get steak. Got stick, Becky. Let me smash.
Becky, let me eat. Green flag about to fly once again here.
Ooh, Gary Mingus got a good start there.
Question is, though, was it too good of a start? You don't want to let those Toyotas get hooked up nose to tail. Toyotas.
Well, he's doing a good job right now of keeping them side by side. He's got it. There you go. So he's got to move up to the outside. Speaking
Trying
of
to
the
block
Toyotas,
that run. Ooh, we're looking for a third lane. Kelly Causey. The Team Pennzoil Chevrolet with Rodney Sullins, the red Team Chevrolet Camaro. And we're going 3 wide. Alex Ortiz into the sucker hole. He'll get picked up by one of the blue Chevys. That's Jeffrey Elliott. Ooh, I think somebody just got the wall right there off of 4.
I don't think the outside lane was the correct lane that he should have went to. She probably should have went to the inside, as Javier Negron has taken the lead.
And he looks back in his rearview mirror and sees quite a number of the gold Dodges. 663 of Denny Carroll, who was just in that last wreck. That's the beauty. Oh, no! Ken Roberts gets turned around. I'm sorry, that's not Ken. That's the 32. From the third position, third or fourth position, got turned around, bumped in the corner, and we're still wrecking on the backstretch here.
He got pushed by the car behind him, which was Greg Lovell. Yep,
oh, we're
right
still
there.
wrecking. Holy cow.
And then he just continued to stay on him. Like he didn't even, I don't know. And then everybody wrecked behind him. Again, thank gosh for no damage.
It's kind of interesting, that area of the racetrack, because normally if you're on the inside line, the cars will naturally push up a bit, so you don't really have an opportunity to be on somebody's back bumper that close. That's more of like a going into the corner type situation, so a little surprising that we ended up having an incident right there off of turn 2 with somebody getting pushed around. as Javier Negron picks up the yellow flag. So we've had 3 different drivers, 3 different teams, 3 different manufacturers pick up the caution here for each one of our 3 yellows, and it looks like one of the representatives out of the Team Mopar Racing stable, the 63 of Larry D, may have just retired from this race. So that will leave 3 of the Mopar Dodges left to fight it out here tonight, and as I said, I was probably not going to get it correct with the different numbers and everything of the different cars. I thought it was the 30 of Ken Roberts that got spun around. It was actually the 32, and that is Greg Palmer, as here's a look at what happened to him. Got the 662 right behind him. And then just like how the back straightaway is completely clogged up. Palmer down the track, gets a couple more hits there, and then they continue to wreck on the back straightaway. Drivers trying to find their way through the smoke. There was the 63 of Larry D, 45 of Tom Dixon. Let's take a look at this from the helicopter cam. Try and see how the 662 of Greg Lovell got that kind of a run to get right to the back bumper of Greg Palmer coming off of the corner, off of turn 2. There is a little bit of a gap there, but then I wonder if the 32 had to check up just a tad there. No? That was quite a run that Greg was able to get there. I mean, there was about... It went from half a car length to about a full car length and then closed up really quickly. Obviously, draft comes into play, but again, I'm not used to seeing a driver be able to get that big of a run on the inside line off of turn 2. Middle line, outside line, absolutely, with the momentum you can carry onto the backstretch, but not as much on the inside line.
Yeah, and he closed up in such a hurry that I don't even know if he even got out of the throttle until after he hit him.
So caution out for the 3rd time here tonight. Looks like Javier Negron is going to stay out, so he may end up leading us back to our next restart. 14 laps in the books, working lap 15. We're about a quarter of the way through tonight's race here in the Talladega Nights Racing Mega Team Race in memory of Dean Gautreau. We're going to step aside here for an FRN race break. We will stay here with the action until the lights go out, indicating us going back green flag racing here tonight at Talladega Nights Super Speedway. So don't go anywhere. FRN's coverage continues right after this. Pace car lights are out. We're ready to go back green, approaching lap 20 here tonight in the Mega Team race in memory of Dean Gautreau. Brian Lovell for the Gold Dodge team, going to be the one to bring us back to green. He'll have Doug Hewlick to his outside in the blue Chevy Camaro. A couple of the Team Mopar Dodges there. Eric Lovell and Graham McDonald going to make up row number 2. Bob Sire will complete the top 5. And then Jeffrey Elliott, Rodney Sullins, John Wall, Denny Carroll, and Mark Paglia going to be the top 10. 32 of our original 34 drivers still running. They're all on the lead lap. The 2 drivers out of the race, Larry D. and Michael Sanders. There was one driver, may have seen it during our FRN race break, one of the red Chevrolets that was having some connection problems. Pulled down to the apron going into turn 1. Looks like that has settled out. And I think I just saw somebody dart out of line and head for pit road right there.
No, you did not. That was just the pace car.
Was that just the pace car? Okay.
Yep, it was just the pace car. Blind.
Getting ready to go back green. Brian Lovell gets us back underway. Folks, be sure to stick around. At the end of this one, we'll be interviewing our top 3 finishers in the FRN post-race wind down. We'll try and give you an unofficial assessment into who we think is going to take the team win tonight. But a lot of different things take place during the course of the next 24, 48 hours as we're looking for wide. Someone blew up right in the middle of the pack. I think that was one of the Toyota cars.
And then he went up into... No caution. No,
no caution?
No, it is.
There it is.
Now, he blew up and then went up into the...
Oh, and we're wrecking out of 4. I saw one of the monster cars. I saw one of the green Toyotas. Somebody up there is warping in one of the blue Chevrolets. Caution's out. Brian Lovell's going to take it. I was going to mention about the fact that we'll try and give a guesstimate as to who the team win goes to here tonight, but obviously a lot of post-race review will be going on. We aren't able to account for necessarily all the bonus points that are going to go into it, so we will interview the top 3 finishers here tonight, but more than likely the announcement of who ends up winning the overall team race probably won't be announced here tonight. It'll probably be at a later date. Who was the Toyota that blew up, do you know?
I think it was Alex Ortiz.
Ortiz, tough break there. He restarted on the outside of the front row a couple of restarts ago. Let's go back, take a look. The Neon Green Toyota is one of the teams that had all 4 of their drivers in the field here tonight. We're looking to capitalize on that, and so focused on the 771 of Alex Ortiz right here in the middle of the pack. He'd already shifted up to 4th gear, so it wasn't a upshift. Actually, it almost looks like there from the telemetry if maybe he then downshifted back to 3rd gear. Might have accidentally hit his shifter or something, and there went the engine. And I think to your point, Michael, I think even after his spin, I think the caution wasn't even out. I think it was something else that happened.
It was right at the very end of this wreck, because when you blow a motor, if you don't get off the track fast enough, it brings out a yellow.
Went up, and I think that was Josh Slocum. And then we had something else happen here. Off of 4. Oh. Is that Garland Oaks? Got a couple of the Monster Energy cars there. Perry Bond in the 83 and then the 81 of Keith Bynum. Gary Mingus was in that one as well. And then also the 662 of Greg Lovell. Get another angle of that one. Almost kind of looked similar to what happened with the Greg Lovell, Greg Palmer incident off of turn 2. One driver getting a big run on the other driver, but this time it was off of turn 4. Watch this again. It was either that or I'm almost wondering, you talked about how late it was that caution came out, Michael. All the cautions are frozen field, and I think with a lot of the drivers there thought the caution was going to come out. It didn't come out. They thought, all right, we're going to continue to race. Then it kind of came out late, took them all by surprise. You had some drivers checking up and getting out of the throttle for the frozen field, and other drivers not getting that memo in time.
It's very possible.
Well, Bob Sire gonna stay out here, and now I think he's coming to pit road. I'll turn the lead over to Graham McDonald. Got a number of drivers coming down pit road here. Graham McDonald gonna lead a lap here for Team Dodge. Checking to see, I believe he's going to be the only driver out of Team Dodge that has led a lap so far tonight. Currently scoring has Greg Lovell leading the most laps at this point with 5. Gary Mingus has led 4. Javier Negron has led 3. Brian Lovell has led 4. And then all the other drivers that have led 1 lap apiece. Graham McDonald just led that lap. Bob Sire, Mike Mangialardi, Rodney Sullins have all led 1 lap apiece. And of course, that goes towards bonus points. Don't tell the hammer, but those red cars look good painted crimson. I'm assuming that is I might be wrong, but I think that's a Roll Tide reference. Got Zach Rogers in our chat here. Oh no. Michael, we gotta have a talk with Nick. He plagued Ulysses' engine in the Maverick race at Mexico City on Tuesday night, and it looks like Nick's engine luck is leaking its way into Team Wrecking Ball, because apparently Ulysses is saying that Alex Ortiz's engine failure was caused by Nick Gunther.
Well, and for a man who's not even here to defend himself. Shame. Such a shame.
It was a Roll Tide reference. Okay, good. I'm not all that big into college football, so I'm happy if I'm able to get those references. Well, the timing of these yellows have kind of now put us back into the fuel window of where these drivers would have been at if we had run these 21 laps under green. So 2 more pit stops from this point out that these drivers will have to make for fuel alone. Tires not necessarily as much a premium unless you really smoke them coming to pit road for a green flag pit stop. As looks like a little indecision here for Graham McDonald as to which lane he wants to start in. Looks like he's going to take the bottom and put Denny Carroll on the top. So a third of the way through this race here, and we'll go back green for our 4th restart of the night. Alex Ortiz with the engine failure on the back straightaway. Now the 3rd driver back behind the wall, joining Larry D and Michael Sanders. Quite a number of teammates lined up here on this upcoming restart. The 0-1 of Mark Paglia, the 0-3 of Randy Waugh, a couple of the orange cars, the Firebirds out of the I'm on Fire Pontiac team, lined up 2nd and 3rd on that inside line. Just behind them, you got a couple of the Pennzoil Chevrolets lined up. That's the 43 of Bob Dixon and the 55 of Kelly Causey. Not been much of an opportunity, though, for all these different team cars to find each other, because we've completed 21 laps, and 16 of those laps have been run under yellow. So unless we're able to get into a long green flag run, not a lot of opportunity to be able to work the draft, work the momentum, try and get everybody in the same area, especially with the fact with these 4 cautions, everybody with different pit strategies. So you could find yourself at one moment up with your team cars, and then you come down pit road, take on tires, everybody else in front of you takes fuel, and you find yourself at the back of the pack and have to work your way up by yourself up to your teammates once again. I think consistently, though, it's been the orange Firebirds and the yellow Challengers that have really been, or the gold Challengers, I should say, that have been up here towards the front for most of the night. But it is the Mopar Dodge Challenger of Graham McDonald who's going to get us back underway here at Talladega Night Super Speedway. Lap 23 goes on the board.
Oh, I forgot to hit the live button. Whoops. I was like, you were just like going back green. I'm just like, what? They're in the trial. And then and I hit the live button. I'm like, oh no, they're on the back.
That's okay. You'll just react to the big one 3 seconds after I do.
Oh, there's a big wreck. What are you talking about? Oh my!
It would literally be like when I watch a NASCAR Cup race and you watch a NASCAR Cup race. My stream's usually like 30 seconds behind your live TV.
I don't have live TV. Remember, I watch off a stream too.
It's still faster than mine.
Not always.
My point still really?
Yeah. If I'm watching through the Spectrum app, it's actually behind your stream.
Well, I think back when I had that other stream, it was faster, but not the current one I've got.
The raw feed stream or whatever that you
yeah,
use now.
No, I don't have that one anymore. Denny Carroll was able to, from the outside of the front row, clear across the nose of Graham McDonald, and I don't know if that's happening on your end or if it's just on mine, but I'm seeing a couple of cars warping up in that third lane.
I don't see anything.
Okay, so hopefully it's just on my end there.
You're just warping.
I'm just warping.
Well, here comes a couple of those Firebirds to the outside.
Isn't that 3 of them lined up there in that middle line? Oh, no, just 2 of them.
Oh, that's just 2. Yeah, get it right.
Mark Paglia and Randy Waugh.
Luigi.
There it is. It's gotten to the point, I hate the fact that I've acquiesced to you, because now whenever
Zach.
I say it, I leave a pause for you to say it every time now.
Yep. Hi, Zach. How you doing? Welcome to the stream.
Ooh, 31 there. A little side-to-side John Wall. Highest running currently of the Team Chevys. The red Team Chevys, that is. Team Chevy started on the pole with Rodney Sullins earlier tonight.
3x3, several rows deep. Let's hold our breath as much as we can here.
How long can you hold your breath?
Not long.
Can you hold it for a full lap?
If I stop talking, you'll know what happened. If you don't hear me gasping for air, then just assume the worst.
If I make a Randy Waugh reference and I don't hear Luigi, I'll know that there's a problem.
Inside lane's got the advantage right now.
Top 5, maybe 6 have gotten themselves clear, and we saved it. Man, we had some door banging right there around the 9th, 10th position.
Yeah, we sure did.
That was a 61 of Frank Divins got down into one of the Firebirds. Not sure which one.
I almost started to cry.
They kept it going, though. We're good for the time being. Oh, no, we're not. Dan Loveful. Save it, Dan.
Oh, he's sliding.
Wow, no, it's overcorrecting, but I think everybody's past him. Oh, no, caution is going to come out. Wow, that's surprising. I thought we were actually going to stay green because there would be no oncoming traffic when he came back up onto the racing surface, but the yellow flag is going to wave. Man, that was a long slide, and he nearly had that thing hung on to. That's one of the toughest places to try and keep that car under you when you're spinning through the infield grass in the tri-oval.
Oh yeah, that was definitely close.
A single car incident there. Unfortunately, it does bring out a yellow, though, so these drivers will have to pace for a little bit longer before getting back to it. Dan Lovell with a wild ride, though. He had a teammate right behind him. I think it was Greg that was behind him. Gave him a bump in the tri-oval there, and it got the 665 loose. And almost hung on to it. Let's go back and take a look. We watched it happen live. Let's get it from another angle here. He seemed to have it under control until he turned the wheel back to the right, and that counter steer just snapped him around. Here it was. He clears himself down in front of his teammate here through the tri-oval. And then right there, Greg gets into the back of him. At that point right there, Dan had it saved, but then when it snapped back to the right,
yep,
came back up on the racing surface. And again, I'm a little bit surprised about the fact that it did bring out a caution, because normally if you have a single car incident and there's no oncoming traffic, normally the officials won't throw the yellow, and the field had already gone by when he came back up above the yellow line.
Those camera angles, this nice angle of the caution light.
Yeah, that TV2, yeah. I thought he was going to slide by that camera, but apparently not.
You could use that camera for the when the caution comes out for frozen field.
That's true.
On the final lap.
No, you know when how NASCAR now has, when you have the green white checker, they show the caution light. That's what you need. You have to have it focused on that.
Yep, that's what I was getting at.
Oh,
gosh, I swear to God.
I'm just further embellishing your statement.
There you are.
So Robert Breedlove going to lead a lap here for the orange Firebirds. Try and add that bonus point to his team's total by the end of the night to maybe win tonight's team race. Coming up next week, folks, Thursday night, we'll be bringing you coverage of the third race of the season, Season 62 of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge Series. Should be a good one, as we'll be at Talladega Super Speedway. Already 2 races, 2 different winners, and well, last week was a nail-biter with Chris Emery able to hold off Grant Wesley and Jessica Shelton in the final, 300-400 yards to the start-finish line to pick up his second career win in the series. Will we see another Cinderella story on Thursday night? You'll have to tune in and find out. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the green flag will fly. "31 drivers still running, all on the lead lap at this point in time. And as Robert Breedlove shows the way here under our 5th caution of the night, we're going to take another FRN race break. Coffee about ready, eggs shortly. Yeah, order up your breakfast in the chat. And we'll come back. Hey, how about this? Let's have a little fan interaction in our chat here as we go into our FRN race break. Tell us what your number 1 breakfast food item is in the morning, and we'll discuss that when we come back here to continue coverage of tonight's Team Mega Race in memory of Dean Gautreau. You're watching the Talladega Nights Racing Mega Team Race on FRN. We'll return right after this. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here. About to cross the halfway threshold here tonight in the Talladega Nights Racing Mega Team Race in memory of Dean Gautreau, Robert Breedlove. Ready to get us back underway. Jeffrey Elliott to his outside. Then Alex Moe and Greg Lovell. 4 different teams represented in the first 2 rows for this upcoming restart on lap 31's completion. Lap 32 will go on the board.
What board?
The scoreboard.
You're aboard?
The olive board.
The olive board? The olive board?
The olive board.
It's the off-brand Olive Garden.
This is our 5th restart of the night. Flagman's gonna have some pretty buff arms by the end of this one with all the flag waving he's had to do.
He's got to be Quagmire after he discovered the internet.
He is. What
For
is
those
it
of
they
you that
on
know,
iRacing?
for those of
They
you
call
that know
him
that
Barney the
reference,
Flagman.
For those of you that know, you know.
And for those of you that don't know, you're me.
You don't know.
Denny Carroll moving up to the 3rd lane there in front of Jeffrey Elliott. Elliott in a gold Dodge Sandwich. Behind him is the 662 of Greg Lovell.
Oh, there's another wreck. 32 is around in the back.
And caution's going to wave, and there's some other cars sliding across the start-finish line there. I believe that was the 665.
It was another bad bump again by the 61.
That'd be Frank Divens out of the Team Mopar Dodge team. Been a lot of bad bumps here tonight, and I'm... It's kind of the blessing and the curse of no damage. If you're involved in a wreck, you're able to continue on, but if there's no damage, then drivers feel
And
that
it was
they
a
can...
bit of it was a slight stack up in front of him when it happened, but I mean, let's see. Yep, right there was a stack up, and he lifted, but only really lost 1 mile per hour until he hit the back of the 32.
Go back to the tri-oval here. That camera angle was hard to tell if maybe there might have been a little bumper grab as well of the 32 off the back of the 82 potentially. Let's get an aerial shot here. And no, not the Little Mermaid aerial. Oh, nope. There you saw, there was the check up there. Greg Palmer woeing up for Mike Mangialardi, and then Frank Divens tagging him. You see that smoke on the left side there. A couple of other cars spun across the start-finish line. One of them, I believe, was the 665 of Dan Lovell. We'll see who he makes contact with. Comes up the track, hits the wall, and gets the 45 of Tom Dixon. And they both go for a slide down to the wall. And then another of the Firebirds actually spun in the infield grass right there. That was Josh Slocum. You can't see him back behind the Armco barrier. There he is. He spun down to the grass going into turn 1, and another of the green Toyotas, might have been Ulysses Sandoval, also was involved. Here's where Slocum got a piece of it. Right there, comes up the track. Oh, that was was that Mingus, I think? Nope, that was the 10. Of Gary Heiser that was involved.
Denny Carroll is the current leader right now. They did a couple of cars did make some pit stops here. I guess we're gonna wait and see if they'll come in and top off. But I think we've had maybe a 4-5 lap run of a green flag before we've seen a caution come back out.
Something like that. I want to say 4 laps is the most laps we've run on a green flag run so far. And we're about to complete our 34th lap, and it'll be our 24th lap that we've run under caution.
So we've had about 10 green flag laps.
Somebody's saying that the pace car is going to win this race.
Yeah, for real.
Pace car's led the most laps here tonight. Next highest, Denny Carroll at 6 laps, but the pace car is about to lead his 24th lap of the evening. And Gary Heiser, who was involved in that wreck, looks like he is done for the night. So we mentioned about the fact that the sentimental favorite team coming into this evening, the LSU Fightin' Tigers, with the Dean Gautreau colors on their Ford Mustangs. They were a little bit behind in the numbers. Only 3 of their drivers in the field here tonight, and now only 1 of them still left in the field, that being Gary Mingus. Both Michael Sanders and the aforementioned Gary Heiser both back behind the wall, so unfortunately it does not look like the Fightin' Tigers will be winning the team race here this evening. So we asked you guys, before we went to that last F1 race break, what your ideal breakfast is, and
We didn't even talk about it while we were on the race break either.
No, we didn't. I was busy munching on popcorn. But we've
You
got
and your popcorn, I swear.
Look, it sustains me.
I don't know. My favorite breakfast item of choice would have to be, well, what I love the most. Pancakes.
Pancakes, of course.
What about you, Seth?
Oh, gosh.
You're French toast, aren't you?
I am French toast, but the problem is for me, it depends on the mood. I can do French toast and I can do waffles on any given day. I have to have sausage. It doesn't matter if it's patty or links. This is probably going to be controversial. I'm more of a sausage than a bacon guy. I mean, I don't
like bacon.
I don't dislike bacon, but if I'm given the choice between bacon and sausage, I will, like, 9 times out of 10 go with sausage. Really, other than that, I think that's really about it. Eggs, maybe, but they're not a priority of mine. I mean, do you just straight up pancakes, or do you like anything else with it for like sides?
Pancakes. Gosh, I love home fries.
Oh, there you go.
Home fries. I do love sausage and or bacon. I'm a fan of it all. Everything except grits.
Are you a hash browns guy?
Yeah, I like both.
So, next question, do you have onions in your hash browns?
If I can, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Same with my home fries.
Oh, you put onions in your home fries?
Say that again?
You put onions in your home fries?
If I can.
Okay, I'm coming over to your house for breakfast.
Good, I'll see you in 18 hours.
Yeah, I was there for dinner. I wasn't there for breakfast. Got Rodney Sullivan's father in our chat saying country ham over medium eggs, grits, biscuits, and Black Rifle coffee, and a glass of orange juice. And Rodney apparently would want cantaloupe. I've only had grits once. And the problem...
No, I've had grits once too, just because I was curious, and to me, and this will be very controversial, they were the most disgusting things I've ever tasted in my life.
So, my problem is, I know I had it, I don't remember if I liked it or not. So I guess it didn't make that much of an impression on me, but I
don't even know. You just don't remember.
I cannot remember.
Sounds like a you problem.
We got apparently I'm un-American for not liking grits. Or you're un-American for not liking grits. I'm not sure which of us is un-American.
I don't know. Unless Pumpkin said that because you said the whole I don't really care for bacon thing.
Oh, that could be too. D. Johnston 59 in our chat as well. Biscuits and gravy.
Yep.
I've never had.
Especially homemade.
Never had.
Think of a flour and milk mixture with a little bit of water.
So a roux sauce.
Yeah. With salt, pepper, and chopped up sausage like you would see on a pizza almost.
Wait, there's sausage in the gravy?
Yeah, it's
okay,
called
I'm sold.
sausage gravy for a reason.
Well, they say biscuits and gravy. They don't say biscuits and sausage gravy.
It's biscuits and sausage gravy. That's how you make it.
Oh. Yeah, if there's sausage, I'm sold.
Yeah, it's sausage in the gravy, and it's really good, especially when you like chop up or cut up your biscuits rather than just leave them whole. And it's great because now you're making me want some.
Do you remember when we went to that what was it called, Hungry Joe's or something? We went to that breakfast place on our Bristol trip.
Yep.
I don't remember all of what was in the breakfast bowl that I got, but I'm pretty sure that I think it was grits or it was like a biscuits and gravy thing or something that was mixed in with all of that, and that was really good. So I've never had biscuits and gravy by itself, but with everything you're saying and with what I enjoyed out of that breakfast bowl, yeah, I would definitely have it. I mean,
even if you were to buy a can, next time you go shopping or your parents go to the store, have them ask if they can buy a can of sausage gravy. It's you put it on your stove and warm it up to the right temperature. Get some either homemade biscuits or the Pillsbury biscuits.
Is it going to be the same, though? Because I feel you got to go down south to, like, one of those restaurants where they make it from scratch.
My mother makes it from scratch. I mean, and she's been trying to teach me how to do it.
Yeah, but you live in Florida, which is in the south, so that just proved my point.
Yeah, it was raised in the north.
I don't think us New Yorkers are known for our biscuits and gravy.
Maybe not, but it doesn't mean that shouldn't stop you from attempting to make and or eat them.
That's true. Let's keep talking about breakfast food because it's keeping these cars under green. You got the gold Dodges 1, 2, 3 right now with Denny Carroll, Greg Lovell, and Brian Lovell.
They heard there was some biscuits and gravy at the finish.
They did. Oh, we should have done that. We should have promised them biscuits and gravy at the end of the race, and then they would have had that incentive.
Tom Dixon slowly losing the pack back here, and by slowly, I mean he's really losing the pack back here.
And that's one of the tough things about this particular track, this particular setup as well. If you're that last car in line and don't have somebody pushing you, there is every likelihood that you will end up starting to lose the draft and eventually lose the pack. And that's the case there for Tom Dixon out of Team Pennzoil. The gold Dodges 1, 2, 3 at the moment, and one of them is now around. That is Dan Lovell, and a caution is more than likely going to fly once again.
Yes, it is out.
That was right in the middle of the pack. I believe it is it race back or is it frozen field? I think it's frozen field again here. I think we're at race back at 15 to go. There is Dan Lovell. That's the caution Tom Dixon needed. There was another driver I thought that was involved with the 665, but they may have been able to continue going, and we'll see who that was when we jump back and take a look at a replay. But we're not yet into the fuel window for these drivers to be able to make it the rest of the way. They still would have to go another 5 or 6 laps before we'd reach that point. Randy Waugh crosses the line in 4th, and Javier Negron is going to be the completion of the top 5 here, working our 7th caution of the night. Let's go back and see what happened with Dan Lovell. Frank Divens in the 61 is on pit road, so he may have been involved in this potentially. Dan Lovell's got one of the neon green Toyotas behind him, but he moves up the track. Right in front of it looked like the 61 of Frank Divens. Also looked like one of the red Team Chevrolet cars might have been involved. Couldn't tell from that angle which one it was. We'll go from our chopper cam. Bit of a stack up there through the tri-oval. That was the 30 of Ken Roberts was the other driver involved. Ooh, and then he goes up and gets, I think that was Mike Mangialardi in the 82. You saw with that stack up there, Frank Divens saw the loss of momentum up ahead, jumped up to the middle line. Dan Lovell, who had already checked up, moved up to try and get in front of Frank, and Frank was just coming way too fast for that move to be made. And it looks like everybody is coming down pit road here, including the top 3, the teammates out of the Talladega Nights Gold Dodge Challengers. Grits are a South thing. Yeah, I figured that was the case. Although I'm pretty sure that our local Cracker Barrels up here in New York
Why
have
is it that I
grits
didn't
on their
expect you
menu.
to say barrel? I don't know. Oh, I'm pretty sure they do. You would think that a breakfast place restaurant would have biscuits and gravy.
And I'm pretty certain, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Cracker Barrel originated in the South. Like their chain originated in the South.
More than likely, yeah.
Still waiting for a Culver's to make its way up here to New York. Chick-fil-A is slowly making its way up here. We were able to get one about, was it like 15, 20 miles away from where I live. Most of them were down in like the bigger cities prior to that. But there's places that I've been to now, and I want those chains to make their way up here. I know that we'll never get a Wawa up here, because Stewart's and Cumberland Farms have kind of got their foothold in the northeast New England area. But I want a Culver's up here. I want a Steak and Shake up here. I want a Golden Corral closer to where I live.
I don't have any more.
You don't have a Golden Corral anymore?
Not around us anymore. The closest one we have is like maybe a 25 to 30 minute drive. I'm so sad about that.
So people obviously don't know this, but back when we started doing our group trips to races and whatnot, we started doing this back in, was it 2020? Or no, I'm sorry, 2021.
And unfortunately, we didn't do one this year, or
Well,
aren't
I
planning one
did,
this
kind
year.
of.
Kind of, yeah, but it wasn't the big one like with all of us.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody could arrive at a
No,
decision.
no,
But anyway,
no, it's not that nobody could arrive at a decision. Nobody asked. Nobody. we put forth everything. We even said about not even going to a race. We talked about going to just.
I said I was going to
park.
Dover. You guys could have come up. In the end, it was me and Nick and my friend Joseph.
We could have settled on going to Disney World. But
I
no,
don't
nobody
have
wanted to
those
do
kind
that.
of. I'm already going to an amusement park this year. By the way, if anybody's planning on being at Hershey Park on June 2nd or June 3rd, look me up. I'll be there.
Selfish plug. What is it that the WWE once said back in the late or mid 2002s? Get the F out.
Something like that. I don't think there's an F in Hershey Park, though. Hershey Park. But no, going back to what I was going to say about restaurants and whatnot, there are so many different restaurants that I knew existed but had never been to, and like on all of our group trips, we ended up going to them. I'd never been to a Culver's, I had never been to a Steak and Shake, and then when we went to Anthony's wedding, I, for the first time, found out Golden Corral was a smorgasbord. I thought it was just like a regular eat-in restaurant. I did not know it was a smorgasbord buffet.
Huh. Well, you said at a Golden Corral?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, CC's is another thing I want around me.
Yeah, I used to have one too. Now, I have to travel 20, 30 minutes just to go to CC's.
But the question is it worth it?
Yes, because they have the taco pizza that I love so much.
Oh, I forgot you and your taco pizza.
I even make it at my own work in a very unique way.
You make a taco pizza at Pizza Hut.
Yep, I bring up a packet of Taco Bell seasoning. I take beef that we use for toppings, put them
Is
in.
it what's
put
for
it in.
dinner?
Shut up. I put it in a.
Is it your tribal beef?
A little container. Sprinkle some of the seasoning on it, and I even take some of the sauce that we use and sprinkle the seasoning on the sauce too. Make that up, and then just add the lettuce from the salads that we make, and then put a little bit of buffalo mild sauce around it with some cheddar cheese, and bam, it's a taco pizza.
So my question is, why do you guys not have that on your menu then, if you know how to make it?
Because Pizza Hut used to actually have a taco pizza on the menu way back in the day, but it failed because anytime anybody would order it for delivery, by the time it would get to the house it was supposed to go to, the lettuce and everything would be all
yeah, all wilted and everything.
all wilted and just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's another word for it, but I forgot what it was. I'll think of it here in a minute.
Well, while you're thinking of the word, I'm trying to help you out, trying to think of what the word might be. I've only ever heard of lettuce as wilted. But getting ready to go back green. We are right maybe on the border of the fuel window for these drivers to make it, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to get to the conclusion without coming down pit road for at least a splash. It'll be 22 laps to go when we go back green, and if you are just the greatest of fuel conservation on a long run, you can maybe get 21 laps out of the tank. So I don't think anybody's going to be able to make it from this point on. We'll have to wait and see when that final pit stop takes place. Got a couple of drivers there towards the back. That's Frank Divens coming to pit lane. Probably going to top off the fuel tank right here coming to this restart, as the 3 gold Dodges that were out in front when that last yellow came out are out in front here for this restart. It's Greg Lovell, Denny Carroll, Brian Lovell, then Graham McDonald for Team Mopar, Team Firebird with Randy Waugh, then Rodney Sullins, Alex Moe, Josh Slocum, Eric Lovell, and Bob Dixon, the top 10. Green flag back in the air. Our 7th restart of the night. We have maintained between 20 to 25 people watching here this evening. Cannot thank you all enough for tuning into our coverage here tonight of the Talladega Nights Mega Team Race in memory of Dean Gautreau. Also appreciate y'all just keeping us company in the chat here as well, giving us some stuff to talk about under these caution periods. Michael is apparently allergic to...
I'm allergic to a lot of things. Nah, honestly, it's just my allergies acting up for some reason.
Believe me, I cannot tell you the number of people just in this past month that have their allergies are kicking in. They're getting sinus infections, sinus colds. I mean, spring is here.
Yeah, for real.
I will say, though, going down through Pennsylvania a couple of weeks ago, a lot of really beautiful flowering trees. They're pretty to look at, not as pretty to inhale.
Wow. Why are you inhaling them?
Well, the pollen is what I'm talking about.
Sure you are.
Not sure where to go from that conversation.
Sausage. I'm just kidding.
We already talked about sausage.
Sausage. Nope. Not gonna make that joke.
A lot of movement right there. Rodney Sullins, I think he sees the fellow Team Red Chevrolets up there in that third lane. Thought about going up to assist. He might actually do that if he can get clear. Yeah, he's going to move up.
Dan Lovell back here. He's the only of those golden Dodges that are hanging out in the back right now.
And we're about to get all 4 of the Red Chevrolets lined up. The 32 of Greg Palmer has now moved up to that top side. You've got Palmer, Sullins, Roberts, and Wall, all nose to tail in that third lane. The question is, though, can they make forward progress? You got a couple of the Team Firebirds down in the middle line. About 3 of the 4 green Toyotas are almost nose to tail. You've got a Monster Energy car in between them of Mike Mangialardi, and then ahead of them you got a couple of the Mopar Dodges lined up. So finally, drivers and teammates finding each other, being able to kind of work together here. Low man out is Alex Moe. He's that lone Pennzoil Chevrolet right now in the 4th position. You got to go all the way back to around the 18th position to find his nearest teammate in Bob Dixon, as most of the Pennzoil cars are back outside of the top 15. Ulysses Sandoval, he's jumped up to the outside line here along with Garland Oaks. Javier Negron pinned on the inside line right now, wanting to get up there. Or actually, no, correction, that's Javier Negron up on the top with Ulysses. It's Garland that's on the inside line. And they're working together with the Pontiac Firebirds. The orange cars up in that second lane. That third line died out pretty quickly.
It usually does, Seth. We know that after a while it can if there's not enough help on there. But we also know that, you know, usually a third lane would just cancel out that middle lane. But I don't know. Things work in mysterious ways at different types of racetracks.
Big problem too is when you end up having, you know, there's been team races where there have been 8 drivers on a team and 5 teams. So you have a lot more drivers to be able to work with. With only having 4 drivers per team, it's a lot of movement that goes on of drivers trying to find their respective teammates. And so therefore, it is kind of difficult when you're trying to make a move in that second or third lane to keep that momentum going, because, you know, a driver is going to see your line moving, they'll jump up there with you, but they're doing that to be able to get up there to where their teammates are, not necessarily to help you and your team get to the front. So it's all about really making sure that you have the maximum 4 drivers all lined up, and then maybe work together with another team of 4 or another team of 3, so that way you can make something happen, and you got to stay committed to each other. Otherwise, your line's not going to go anywhere, and I think the goal right now is clear for the gold Dodges, and that's just hug that yellow line. Force everybody else to go around you the longer way around the racetrack, and as we've seen, there's not been a whole lot of commitment between 2 different teams to be able to dislodge Greg Lovell, Denny Carroll, and Brian Lovell from the top 3 positions.
Nope. They're trying to stay nose to tail here, and it looks like that middle lane has more cars in it, but just can't gain any ground.
Yeah, they've been stalled out around that 5th position. Ulysses Sandoval trying to pinch down the 60 of Graham McDonald. Try and get that run off of the corner. Garland Oaks right there. I'm sorry, correction. Actually, it is Garland Oaks now, I think. Or is that the 773? Or that's the 772.
And there's going to be a third lane now. They're going to leave those green Toyotas out to dry in the middle lane. We'll see how well that is able to work out.
Ooh, that was close right there. Garland almost got to the left rear quarter panel of Ulysses. Now he'll tuck in behind Javier Negron. Oh, contact! And we got a car around. Oh, one up and over. Caution's going to wave. And this is the yellow flag that's going to put everybody good to make it the rest of the way on fuel. Ken Roberts, John Wall, Randy Waugh, Perry Bond, Bob Sire, Kelly Causey, all involved in that one. And maybe more so than anybody else, this is the caution that the top 3 wanted to see, because pretty likely all 3 of them were definitely not going to be able to make it on fuel, especially Greg Lovell, who had been out in front for a majority of that run. Now they'll be able to come down pit road and top off the fuel tank to be able to reach the remainder of the scheduled distance. I believe Ulysses Sandoval tried moving up to get the momentum of the Pontiac Firebirds on the back straightaway, and there might have been an uneven bump or maybe a chain bump gone wrong. Randy Waugh got the worst end of that deal, as I believe he was leading the trio of orange Trans Ams on that outside line. Let's take a look here from the helicopter cam and just watch the closing rate. The green Toyotas have been put in the middle. Garland Oaks tucks down to the bottom. Ulysses Sandoval up there on the top, and yet they just chain bumped there. And Unfortunately, Randy Wall involved right there. There goes the 30 up and over of Ken Roberts.
Again, luckily that there are no yellow flags.
You mean no
Or
damage?
No yellow flags. No damage. No
If
trivial
there's no
brain
yellow
dabbles.
flags, then we must be watching drafting duos again with running under green flag conditions at 45 miles per hour.
There's no trivial brain dabblage. Again, you have to be a Futurama fan to know that.
Yep. I'm lost.
You're always lost.
Remember that TV series of the plane that disappeared and everything? It was called Lost.
Yeah.
Why did they never make a sequel called Found?
I knew you were gonna go there.
Just asking the real questions here.
I hate you.
A couple of the team monster cars involved there. 83 of Perry Bond, the 80 of Bob Sire. And this will give us a restart somewhere in the vicinity of 10 laps to go, if maybe not a couple laps past that. I was gonna say before that caution came out, I was watching towards the rear of the field, see if maybe anybody was just kind of riding back there, seeing if they could save the lap and a half they were short. And I'm wondering if any drivers might have done that, and that's some of them that we're seeing up here at the front right now. Graham McDonald in the 60, Eric Lovell in the 62, a couple of representatives out of the Team Mopar Racing Dodges. Two schools of thought kind of come to mind here for me for these drivers that are staying out. Either one, they were saving under that last run, so they feel that they can save a little bit more here under these pacing laps to be able to make it the rest of the way, or they feel the track position is more important, that they'll get another caution or two before the conclusion. They can stay up at the front, continue to save fuel, rather than be back in the hornet's nest. Meanwhile, the top three that we saw on the last two restarts, those gold Dodges, they did come to pit road. They did top off the fuel tank. They're currently scheduled to restart 10th through 12th. They'll be back in the middle of that pack, but we know that they can go all out now. They should be able to make it the rest of the way on what they've got in the tank. So, interesting varying of strategies here. We'll have to see which one ends up being the winning strategy at the end of the night. Again, as we mentioned, when the race is concluded, we'll head into our FRN post-race wind-down.
Where you'll be in charge of all the questions.
And we'll be talking with our top three finishers. We'll
Are
try
you a
and
top
give you
three
a little bit
finisher?
of a guesstimate as to who is the winner of the team race overall, but with...
But are you a top three finisher, Seth?
In the heat race, yes.
No heat race.
In this race, no. I think the highest I ever finished in a team race here for Talladega Nights was 7th.
Oh,
and if I recall correctly, I did so with all the rest of my teammates out of the race. I was the lone driver. I think it was the White Dodges. I was a part of the team of.
Wrecking Ball?
No, it was just the White Dodges. I'm trying to remember who some of my teammates were. I know Bob Sire was one of my teammates. Can't recall off the top of my head who the other ones were.
So your favorite team, Team Wrecking Ball, you couldn't get a good finish, but you go to some random team.
At the time,
the White Dodges.
Here's
and
the
you
interesting
finished 7th.
thing. At the time that I ran in that team race, Team Wrecking Ball did not exist.
It still shows you that your favoritism is not Team Wrecking Ball. Ulysses is going to be devastated.
Okay, hold the phone. Hold the phone. I ran in one of the races, I think it was on Saturday or Sunday nights, and I helped Javier Negron win a race. All right, so I've done my deed.
Nope, he's still going to be devastated. There's nothing you can do about it.
More devastated than when he had that wreck in the RTG race and lost both his arms. Michael is allergic to people losing both their arms.
Yes, I am. I don't know. I guess I'll find out. Like you said, Seth, we're going to have 10 laps to go on this restart as the pace lights are off.
Our chat had that call right there, D Johnson 59, saying there'd be 10 laps left when we went back green. So good job on the call there. Graham McDonald. I feel like we haven't really mentioned his name a whole lot since the beginning of the race. Eric Lovell, I believe this is the highest he's run all night long. What do you think here, Michael? Is it worth trying the Joey Logano okie dokie, try and let your teammate in? Or at this point in time, with how little laps are left, do you both just go, try and run your respective lines and see what happens, rather than maybe put yourself in trouble of trying to check up for somebody else because you know everybody else behind isn't going to check up for you?
Exactly. So with 10 laps to go, there's no more braking, even though the brakes don't exist. It's all...
Wait, hold on. I just realized something.
What?
You're making the call that brakes don't exist, and yet you got mad at Mercurio for running you over on pit road?
That was when brakes didn't
You are
exist.
buying into the conspiracy theory that brakes don't exist.
No,
you cannot
that was
be
when-
angry if somebody
nope,
gets
that
into the
was when
back of
brakes-
you in a
no,
braking
brake-
area.
No. That was when brakes actually existed.
Wait, so when did the brake... What portion of the timeline did brakes cease to exist?
At the beginning of this broadcast.
Michael Norman, bending space and time, or in terms of the brakes, whether they
Hey,
exist or not.
You just call me a Time Lord. I'm David
So as
Tennant.
soon as you hit the track, brakes will probably exist again. Am I right?
Nope.
Really? Okay, I will remember that.
Only if we're at a super speedway will they not exist.
Okay. That's something I will keep in my memory bank when Snickers Super Speedway Series pops around.
That way when we come down pit road, I'm just gonna fly into everybody and say, sorry, my brakes don't exist.
Fly me to the moon. Green flag back in the air.
You're late.
No, I know, but I had to get the song out first.
I didn't.
Do you think even though Frank
sings
Sinatra
that?
is
Who's-
no longer
wait,
with us, he'll still copyright strike the stream?
Who sings that song, Seth?
I
Again?
just said it.
Who?
That was Frank Sinatra.
Well, then you need to let him do it.
Yeah, he's in no position to do it right now.
I mean, yeah, but no. There's AI for a reason.
Just walk past his tombstone, just hear.
No, there's AI.
No, we are not letting AI do it. No.
There's AI and holograms for a reason.
Nope. Who was it? Was it ABBA that had holograms to do their concerts for them? There they go. Well, I was hoping that if we talked about something that maybe they would live, but I think someone just died. That was the
Stayed
82.
low, but then they came back up onto the racetrack. Perry Bond and Eric Lovell.
Yep. One of the Mopar cars, one of the Beast cars.
Is
this
it
is
race
exactly
back now
what
that it's
Graham
under 10 to
McDonald
go?
wanted to see.
Is it race back now that we're under 10 to go?
Yep, it is race back. And we got the Firebirds up on that top side working together. Robert Breedlove and Mark Paglia, along with Alex Moe out of the Team Pennzoil stable. Who's going to win out here to the line? Looks like it is going to be Breedlove. Oh, one of the Wrecking Ball cars. Yikes, he saved it. We're 4 wide, coming back to the stripe. Almost 5 wide. Oh, don't wreck under caution.
Ulysses Sandoval, speaking of him, was one of the ones that almost wrecked.
He was down in the apron going there through 1 and 2. Well, Eric Lovell went for a wild ride. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a car catch the grass down the inside of turn 1 and go into a barrel roll. And we'll take a look at that here with our replay. Perry Bond in the 83, the other driver involved in this one. The way that the car shot down in the middle of the pack, it's amazing we didn't have more drivers involved. This was up towards the front as well. It's been a running theme here tonight, it seems, Michael. There's been a lot of
There's been a running theme.
Yep, there's been a lot of late bumps with checkups.
There's been a lot of people getting
And
out
then
of their cars
there's
and running.
and then there's been a
I was waiting to see how long you would take that.
shades of Ricky Bobby. And then there's been a lot of, as we'll see here with this helicopter cam, of drivers moving up to block the momentum of a line that's moving forward, and it leads to stack up chain bumping there. Here you see right there, Eric Lovell saw that run coming from one of the gold Dodges. Uneven bump sent them into the wall.
Yep, it's just people trying to get up and not timing it right to try to get a run, but unfortunately, that's what happens.
So we have now entered into the portion of the race, which is usually dubbed the point of no return. When we go back green, we will be past the threshold of lap 62, which means the next flag will end the race, whether it be the caution or the checkered flag. Nobody a lap down, so we won't have the extra lap of pacing that we would if there had been lap machines. Eric Lovell in the 62 has retired out of the race, so that is going to lessen the chances of Team Mopar winning the team race here tonight. Two of their drivers now back in the garage area, along with Larry D. Two of the three drivers out of the Dean LSU Fighting Tigers team back in the garage area with Gary Heiser and Michael Sanders, and then one of the green Toyotas back behind the wall in Alex Ortiz after the mechanical failure. So more than likely, with those drivers for those respective teams out of the race, that is effectively going to take all three of those teams out of the hunt for the overall team win here tonight. It's kind of looking like it's going to come down between the Orange Firebirds and the Gold Challengers, and then maybe the Red Chevrolets could make a late charge here as well, as they're kind of around the latter portion of the top 10, around the mid-pack area. We haven't really seen Team Pennzoil come up here to the front. Alex Moe currently in the 4th position, but Kelly Causey started out back at the beginning of the night. Bob and Tom Dixon are kind of back in the middle of the pack right now. They've got all 4 of their cars, but they've got to make some strides here in the closing stages. And then the blue Chevrolets, I feel like we really haven't talked a whole lot about them here tonight. The highest running of those cars currently is Doug Hulick in the 881 in 11th place. Rod Weston and Jeffrey Elliott both currently look like they're going to start out towards the back of the pack. We saw Jeffrey up on the front row for a restart, but we haven't really mentioned Rod's name here tonight. They've got to make something happen here as well. I kind of feel, though, if you're towards the rear of the field with the handful of laps we're going to have left, it's not going to be that easy to get yourself up there. So I don't know, if you're back in the area of, say, a Randy Waugh, Perry Bond, Tom Dixon, Rod Weston, Jeffrey Elliott, outside of the top 20, is there a specific finishing position number you're looking for to try and to aid your team, knowing that more than likely a top 5 is out of the realm of possibility?
I'm not too sure, honestly. I mean, I figured he would just be going for it at this point with less than 5 laps to go in this restart. It's just going to be every position is going to be more points.
And I think at this point as well, I think you'll agree, incident
Will
happens, it's never lift time.
I don't agree with that. I'm just kidding.
This is where everyone buys into the brakes don't exist theory.
Yeah, for real.
If that caution comes out, no, yellow means go.
Yellow means go faster.
Go faster, indeed. What is that Andy Jankowiak phrase? I'm either going to see God or the checkered flag. Yep, everybody's buying into that one.
Yellow flag means I'm going to plow.
Yellow flag means cheese.
Oh, too late. You ruined it.
All right, let's see if we get the lights out this time. We should, I believe. With the number of cautions we've had here today, working our 9th caution of the evening, it's always fun to kind of look and see the drivers that made the most pit stops on the evening. No surprise to me, at least. Alex Moe currently tied with the most pit stops made tonight at 13. Frank Divins has also been to pit road 13 times. 12 times for Josh Slocum and Rod Weston. 11 times, or actually 12 times as well for Ulysses Sandoval. 11 times for Gary Heiser, and then 10 times for Rodney Sullins and Greg Palmer. A lot of those pit stops would be coming down, just topping off the fuel tank. That extra quarter lap of fuel, half lap of fuel to be able to make it a little bit further if we have long green flag runs. But now, coming to the conclusion of lap 62, it will be the point of no return. So we'll give you the usual disclaimer. If trouble breaks out, we'll go back and potentially look at it, unless we end up having an incident that happened to me and Michael on Thursday night where both our games crashed at the exact same time. So we couldn't document
let's hope that there's not a massive wreck that crashes our games.
But if we're able to, we'll go back post-race or under the final caution period prior to the checkered flying to show you the subsequent replays. But we will stay at the front if the caution comes out or if the white flag comes out to watch the battle back to the proverbial checkers.
Yeah, we're not Fox.
Oh gosh, don't even get me started.
You know what? I want you to pretend we're Fox for a second and just watch the pace.
We will watch the battle for 10th place then, coming to the checkered flag if we're Fox.
No, we're just gonna watch the pace car come down pit road for the restart.
My gosh. I'm gonna be so happy when we get back to NBC.
Yeah, but with no Dale Jr. though.
That's the sad part, right?
For a junior fan, yeah.
But we do get Lee Diffie.
That's not a consolation.
No, it's not a consolation, but I love Lee Diffie's commentary.
We don't get to hear slide job.
We only heard that once. All right. Will we see a slide job here at Talladega? We've seen a little bit of everything here tonight. Green flag back in the air. Robert Breedlove gets us back under the green. 4 laps to go in tonight's mega team race.
Oh, and we already have a wreck. That's it. That's over. It's over. Already a wreck in the back.
So we're going to watch this battle back here to the stripe. Caution flag is out. Race will end under yellow. Top 2, clear single file. Teammates, Breedlove and Paglia. What a move to the inside there by one of the gold Dodges. That was Greg Lovell. He'll break up those Firebirds, at least for the moment. Ooh, squirrely there for one of the green Toyotas. I think that was Javier Negron. Breedlove going to hold it right down on the inside line there. 3 wide, looking 4 wide, coming back to the stripe. Lovell jumps to the outside line. Not going to be enough. We're wrecking across the line. Several drivers involved there. A lot of cars flipping. Scory's going to have to figure out who is all in what position, but Robert Breedlove won the battle back to the yellow. This race will end under caution, and Robert Breedlove is going to pick up the victory here tonight, barring anything happening in the closing stages here.
We're going to wait and see what they decide, if they're going to let them get their spots back, or if being deemed that they're not up to speed, because a couple cars have already retired.
So what's your theory on that? Because I know there are different series that do that.
A couple cars have already retired out of the race that finished in the top 10.
Oh yeah, quite a few of them. Doug Hewlick.
I think they thought that
Greg
was the
Palmer,
end of the race, but they still
Javier
got
Negron, Jeffrey Elliott, Ulysses Sandoval.
I think they thought that was the end of the race, but there's still at least 2 laps to go.
And that's going to shake up the team points. Rodney Sullins made his way up there to 3rd place, so he'll finish on the podium. It's like Mark Paglia, who slid across the line in 4th, is coming back up to get his spot. Yeah, different series, different leagues they'll have where a driver can come back and get their spot even though they wrecked across the start-finish line. Other series, they don't let them come up and get their spot. Now, this is just me personally. I'm on the side of those that don't allow them to come up and get their spot if they wrecked, because they're technically not keeping up pace speed. I know a lot of series, they don't want to penalize a driver that might have just been caught up in an incident to lose that track position, but I don't know, them's the breaks, I guess. As Mark Paglia got a late bump there from one of the blue Chevrolets.
What's a break?
It's what a Kit Kat bar does.
All right, well, looks like our top 3 is going to end up being Breedlove, Greg Lovell, and Rodney Sullivan.
Wait, hold the phone.
What?
Oh, okay, never mind.
What?
I thought Rodney Sullivan's, just saw him involved in the wreck, and I thought that maybe he had
He got spun coming across the
yeah,
line.
I thought he wrecked and then somehow was able to pass all those cars to get back up to third, but then I realized that he had actually spun across the finish line in third place. Ulysses Sandoval ended up on his roof, and they were trying to get him back over onto all 4 wheels. They were unsuccessful. Graham McDonald was in that. I think all 3 of the remaining green Toyotas were in it.
Oh, yeah. That was a big wreck.
There's Mark Paglia. Alex Moe was trying to get Ulysses Sandoval turned back over, but the banking on the apron thwarted that effort. Let's see if we can go to the helicopter cam, see who it was that gave the bad bump to Mark Paglia there. It's like the 881 maybe of Doug Hulick. And it's just on from there. Sandoval gets sent up and over after getting T-boned by the 31 of John Wall.
By Tabone.
Tabone and Pumbaa.
Tabone. Yes.
And it's going to end this race under yellow. White flag was just displayed over the hood of one Robert Breedlove. Race going to end with 10 cautions here tonight. Breedlove leading 10 laps up to this point. He'll have led 11 at the conclusion. Greg Lovell in second. Third place, Rodney Selmans, Mark Paglia, Denny Carroll. The completion of the top 5. Then Frank Divins, Graham McDonald, Garland Oakes, Brian Lovell, and Keith Bynum. If I'm just eyeballing this here with who I think is going to win the team race, I think it's going to be the Gold Dodges, because you've got Greg Lovell in second, Denny Carroll in 5th, Brian Lovell in 9th, and Dan Lovell in 13th. I think the closest competitor they would have had would have been the Orange Firebirds, which you've got 2 of them in the top 5 in 1st and 4th, but then the other ones are back in 15th place and 19th place. So I think it is going to be the Gold Dodges that are going to take this one. Greg led a lap, Denny led a lap, Brian led a lap, and Dan did not. So 3 of the 4 led a laps. So there's bonus points there. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that the Gold Dodges are going to win the overall team race here tonight. Well, nobody tell Matt McIntyre that a Pontiac's about to win this race or he's going to hit the ceiling.
Good thing he's not watching us.
Sometimes I feel like
it's funny that
Matt is watching me.
You say they're Firebirds, but they just look like Chevys.
Do they?
On my end, they look like Chevys.
Robert Breedlove, after a long one here tonight, crosses the start-finish line, and he's the winner of tonight's mega team race. In memory of Dean Gautreau. Wins this under caution. for the Pontiac I'm on Fire Firebirds.
You're on fire.
I'm not on fire, Ricky Bobby.
All right, Seth. It's up to you for questions.
GM4. Looks like Ken Roberts finished this race a lap down. I think he had a black flag and it gave him the 1 lap penalty. We had 23 drivers cross the line to complete this race. Mentioned about a number of drivers, a good half dozen or so, that retired out of the race after that wreck coming to the caution. And Robert Breedlove going to make his way down here through the tri-oval. And he'll get to burn it down on the front straightaway in front of the fans here tonight.
There's fans here tonight, other than watching us.
All
those paper cardboard people in the grandstands.
Yep.
Those 2003 graphics.
I don't know if they've ever actually updated the graphics of the crowd people for the game.
That's what I'm saying, 2003 graphics.
Gary Mingus there in the background as well, doing some burnouts in memory of his friend Dean Gautreau. We'll be going down to Victory Lane shortly to talk with Robert Breedlove. We'll also be dialing up our other 2 podium finishers, Greg Lovell and Rodney Sullins, and we'll now show you the full finisher results. It's been scrolling on the top of your screen here, but here's a look at it a little bit more in depth.
While you finish up that, I am going to the little commentators room.
Okay. Bring the air freshener like JT Mayhew told you to. But we gave you the top 10. Mike Mangialardi, Dan Lovell, Alex Moe, Josh Slocum, Kelly Causey with the top 15. John Wall, Bob Dixon, Randy Waugh, Perry Bond, Gary Mingus, the top 20. Tom Dixon, Bob Sire, and Ken Roberts were the last drivers to cross the line under power. And then you see all the drivers that finished out of the race. Hewlick on down through Weston, all out after that last incident. Eric Lovell, Heiser, Ortiz, D, and Sanders all out of the race in previous caution periods. Let's head into our FRN post-race wind down. It's time to dial up some drivers after a wild race here tonight at Talladega Nights Super Speedway. Let's see if we can get a hold of the driver that started from the pole, brings it home in 3rd. Let's get a hold of Rodney Sullins.
User was moved.
Hey, Rodney,
to your
Michael
channel.
and Seth up here in the FRN booth. Got a copy?
Hey, I do, guys. How you doing?
Crazy one here tonight. Bit of a survival fest, but no damage keeping you in the hunt. You started this race from the pole position, but it kind of seemed like in the early going with all those yellow flags, it was difficult for all your team drivers to be able to find each other, get all lined up. Eventually, we got around, I think it was around the midway point, and we saw you all get lined up nose to tail, but with only having 4 drivers per team and all the different stuff going on here, all the moving parts and pieces, the different lines, how difficult was it to get a strategy put together and then execute that strategy?
It was pretty much impossible for the most part. It seemed like every time we got close to each other, a wreck would happen and it would take 1 or 2 of us out. I mean, that's probably the craziest race I've ever been involved in. I mean, I just went in and topped off all the time. And sorry, I got somebody whispering to me. Went in and topped off almost every time. And I took tires once just because I think they were dry rotting, because it was we were driving around so slow all night. Crazy race. Just there at the end, we just said, let's just go out and see how we finish. So we just kind of did our own thing there.
So you talked about coming down under most of those yellows, topping off the fuel tank there to have that little extra security. I mean, what was there a flip-flop of strategies that went on of maybe trying to get track position, or was it always about making sure you had enough fuel to maybe get into that window, be absolutely certain you could get to the checkers?
Well, with there not being any damage, I didn't have any worries about going to the back of the pack. So I had decided that pretty much every caution I was going to top off and take fuel, even if I'd only ran a lap. just so I could, if it come down to a green flag stop and I could do a can or a splash or half can or whatever, it would pay off. But never really got to utilize that. So, but that was the plan. Take gas every point, because like I said, there's no damage. So you could get to the back. If you got wrecked, you just, got yourself back on your wheels and took off again, but never really got to play.
Yeah, I mentioned about the fact that we saw at one point you and your other three teammates were all lined up and you were actually trying to make that third line work. It looked for a time that you were making progress, and then that third line kind of fizzled out. With the team race aspect, is it really difficult to be able to make forward progress? Because with having everybody else that's not a teammate to you on different agendas, you just can't get a good, solid group of drivers committed to moving one line?
Yeah, it's not like when you've got maybe a couple of teammates and then two or three other guys there, you get out there and everybody works together to go to the front. Here, when we had 3 or 4 cars together, I asked the guys, said, why are we not going anywhere now? And I heard they said, well, everybody left us, so those team cars decided to jump down on the inside and do their thing. So it's kind of tough to make that work sometimes. You just have to hope there's another team out there that has the same idea as you, or 2 or 3 cars that are separated from their team and they work with you. But yeah, we could never really get anything really going. And if we did, and when we got lined up there together, I'm pretty sure it was by accident. That one time we all started on the outside, I think, and we didn't plan it that way. It just happened.
Well, able to get up there in the closing stages. Fortunately, slid across the start-finish line in the third position and able to keep that spot there under the final pacing laps coming to the checkered flag. A little bit of everywhere here tonight in the field for you. The front, the middle, the back of the pack, but finishing up towards the front in the closing stage with a third-place performance. Congratulations on that, Rodney. Before we let you go, though, floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shout-outs.
Well, first of all, FRN, Flatout Racing Network, Seth, you and Michael. I'm actually still looking forward to going back and watching this I really want to know what you guys talked about, to be honest with you. Thank my Burnt Screwdrivers Racing teammates, Talladega Nights, Jeffrey Ellett, all the admins here. I'll give another shout out again to my buddy John Godfrey. He's on the mend. Dean Gautreau and all his family. I never did get to race with a guy. I was raising my daughter at the time. I guess those guys were racing with him before I came back after a 15-year layoff. So, but everything I've heard, he was a good fella. So I wish I would have got to know him, but I didn't. So anyway, thoughts and prayers out to his family. May he rest in peace. But thanks to everybody out here. It was a crazy race. I don't know, man. It was just a crazy race. I appreciate you guys, and I will, I guess, see y'all next Thursday.
Crazy race for sure. Yeah, we covered quite a number of topics. Breakfast food was one of our big ones. Your dad sold you out, told us that you really like cantaloupe for a breakfast food. So we now know that about you.
Did he really tell you that?
He did. He did.
I hate cantaloupe.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's why he did it, because he always eats cantaloupe, and every time we'll mess with each other and seem like if we got a big steak meal or a good big breakfast, because he lives in Alabama and I live in Arkansas, and we'll take a picture and send it to each other, and here's my breakfast, and he always says, there ain't no cantaloupe on there, it's no good. So yeah, that's the deal.
Oh, he even had the statement with an exclamation point in it too. Wow.
Yeah, I can't stand cantaloupe. Well, I didn't say anything. I meant to say thanks to my dad. He always watches these things. I appreciate him doing it. And I think Jonathan, my son, was going to try to catch this one. He lives in Dallas. But love you guys. Hope y'all enjoyed that race, we'll call it. But yeah, I despise cantaloupe, Seth.
All right, I guess we won't see any cantaloupe featured on a Rodney Sullivan's paint job then. But Rodney, congratulations on the great run here tonight, bringing it home in third place.
Thanks, Seth. Y'all have a good night.
Absolutely.
User was
Oh
moved
man,
out
well,
of
we
your
got a little
channel.
bit more stuff we know about Rodney Sullins now. We thought we knew, and then we didn't know, and now we know. So let's see if we can keep this going. Let's see if we can get a hold of our second place finisher here tonight, and that's Greg Lovell.
User was moved
Hey Greg,
to
it's
your
Michael and
channel.
Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
man. What's up? What's going on?
I'll tell you what, wild race here tonight. Kind of difficult, it seemed, in terms of being able to put together a strategy with your teammates and everything. But then you guys got lined up there. Second half of this race, top three for a good portion of it. Led us top three to quite a number of those late restarts. And by rough math here, it's looking like the Gold Dodgers have won the team race here tonight, but I want to go back to that one move that you were able to make there, coming to what eventually was going to be the checkered flag, because not very often are you able to stick your nose in there with only about 3/4 of a lane available, and you made it work to break up those Firebird cars. If you'd had that final couple of laps under green, could you have gotten the 662 to P1?
Yeah, no, Mark said he slid up just a little bit too much and let me get under him. He said he didn't mean to slide up as far as he did, but you got to take those chances, you know. If you see the spot and it's wide enough, why not go for it? I was trying everything I could to get up there and at least try to go for a win the best I could.
I was talking just moments ago with Rodney, and was mentioned about the fact that with the early yellows that we had, nobody really on the initial rolling off the grid had teammates, nose to tail with them. They were kind of kitty corner with the different rows. Some of them starting at the front, some of them starting at the back. Obviously, it looked like it took a bit of a process for you and your teammates to get lined up. What kind of a strategy did you have in place there in the first half of this race to eventually find yourselves all together when we got into the second half?
Well, we was going to try to get all with each other and try to get on that very high line. That's what our plan was, but it didn't work because cautions kept coming out. That was the plan, but it's it's hard to get together, man, with your teammates when there's a lot of, when there's a field that big. I mean, it's hard to be that way.
With all the different agendas that are going on the racetrack there as well, uh, how much are you able to be a team player as opposed to just being like a single driver? Because in order to be able to get up to your teammates, you might have to actually work with another group to get up in the same vicinity and everything. So how do you balance that out?
It's tough at times, man. I mean, sometimes sometimes you gotta help other guys to get to your teammates, when you don't want to. It's Seth, you've been in these races. It's sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's you can't do it. And it just really just all depends who you're around, who you're drafting with, how good of a drafter they are, you know, how tight they draft with you. That all comes in to play at the end of the race. You got to be around people that draft tight and not lay off of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, leading the banner here tonight for the Talladega Nights Gold Dodges. Looks like all four of your team cars finished up inside the top 12. Three of the four cars leading laps here tonight. I believe two of you led double-digit laps here tonight as well. So I believe one of you is getting the bonus point for most laps led tonight as well. So racking up those bonus points, good finishes. I think it's pretty safe to say mathematically you guys are taking that team overall race victory. But a second place performance for you here tonight. Well done. Almost got that one position better there, Greg. Before we let you go, floor is yours for thank you sponsors and shoutouts.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Jeffrey for making it possible, and Perry Bond and somebody else. I can't remember who else sponsored the race. I'd like to give a shout out to John Godfrey. Uh, I hope you get to feeling better, John, so you can get back out here with us, man, and race. I know you miss it. And shout out to what's his name's Dean's family. Um, you know, I really hate they're going through what they're going through, and um, they'll be in our thoughts and prayers.
Well, Greg Lovell, second place here tonight in the Mega Team race at Talladega Nights Super Speedway. And he, along with his 3 teammates, they are going to be the winners of the overall team race here tonight. Congratulations on the job well done there, Greg.
Thank y'all. Thank you, buddy.
Let's see if we can now
User was
go
moved
down
out
to
of your
Victory
channel.
Lane. The I'm on Fire Pontiac Firebird is parked down there. Robert Breedlove has climbed out of the car. Let's see if we can get a word with him.
User was moved
Hey,
to
Robert,
your
Michael, and
channel.
Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got us?
Yeah, Seth, I'm here.
I'll tell you what, we usually see this car starting up at the front. We normally see it in the conversation at the front at the end of these races. Tonight, no exception. You had Mark Paglia as a wingman there, and all of a sudden he got kind of separated from you. You had Greg Lovell on your back bumper. What was the strategy at that point? Granted, the race ended under yellow, but if we'd had those last couple of laps run under green, it at least looked like when we went back green, you were pretty much committed to the bottom. Was that where you were planning to stay?
Yeah, me and Mark talked about it, and we decided to stay on the bottom. And then that yellow came out, and I pushed up a little bit, went more to the middle lane, and Mark kind of followed me and let Greg get underneath of him, and then Greg got second. But if it would have stayed green, we would have stayed hugged the bottom most likely.
Now, here tonight with the multiple cautions we had, we can kind of maybe throw out the first half of the race, maybe more so drivers staying out, leading laps under pacing to get the bonus points and everything for the overall team race. But then we get into the second half of the race, start to get towards that fuel window to make it the rest of the way. A lot of drivers start thinking about track position. What was the turning point for you, starting to think about getting that track position to eventually be up there towards the front for the final restarts?
Well, one of those, like in the middle of the race, I got caught speeding on pit row, so it put me all the way to back. So I just kept on pitting and just kept on topping off. And then me and Mark decided to, I think it was like 24 laps left, and we had 20 fuel laps. We decided we're not going to pit no more, just make up those 4 laps somehow.
Had a lot of different incidents in different portions of the racetrack here tonight. Even the race-ending caution took place up inside of the top 5. How difficult was it here tonight to kind of manage everything? You first had to be looking out for where your teammates were. You had to plan moves ahead of time to be able to get lined up with them. At the same time, you maybe have to work with other drivers to get up into the vicinity of your teammates, and all the while try and figure out where the trouble spots were going to be if trouble breaks out. We saw a lot of checkups here tonight leading to cautions, mechanical failures in the middle of the pack. So how difficult was it to manage it all, kind of keep your head on a swivel here tonight?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, at the beginning of the race, I was up front, so I missed some of it. But when I got in the back, it was more difficult. There seemed to be a lot of checking just to let people in, teammates in, or help teammates, and I think that caused a lot of the yellows.
Well, Robert, a great job by you here tonight, up front in the closing stages when it mattered. You lead us to the checkered flag to pick up the victory here tonight in the mega team race at Talladega Nights Super Speedway. We'll let you get back to your celebrating here in just a moment, but first, we're handing the mic over to you for Victory Lane. Thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
Hey, I just want to thank you guys for putting it on and broadcasting it. I heard Rodney say he wants to listen back to see what you guys talked about during all those yellows, and so do I. Also want to wish all the moms happy Mother's Day tomorrow, and my mom especially. And praying for John, hope he gets better, and praying for the Dean family also. And shout out for Jeffrey for all he does and what he does to make these team races happen. I appreciate it.
Oh, Robert Breedlove, he puts that Pontiac Firebird in Victory Lane here tonight as he is your winner under the lights at Talladega Super Speedway in the mega team race in memory of Dean Gautreau. Congratulations on the job. Well done there, Robert. Go enjoy this victory.
Thank you.
User was moved out of
And
your
that
channel.
is going to bring our coverage to a close. Again, we appreciate everybody that tuned into our coverage here tonight, kept us company in the chat, and man, highlight of my night was finding out we thought that Rodney Sullivan's really liked cantaloupe. His dad telling us that he liked cantaloupe, and nope, he doesn't like cantaloupe. That was a fun little reveal right there. But Michael, here tonight, chaotic one for everybody involved. It all pretty much came down to who was going to get lucky at the end in terms of track position and right place, right time, if you will, at the flying of that final caution. Long one here tonight with a lot of yellow flags. A lot of drivers, I think, maybe adopted your strategy that brakes did not exist here tonight. Got to get every position possible.
Definitely what it seemed like. As fast as you can get up to the front and stay there.
Well, a wild one here tonight at Talladega Nights Super Speedway. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Congratulations to Robert Breedlove on the victory. And preemptively, again, not completely official, but I'm pretty certain, congratulations go to Greg Lovell, Denny Carroll, Brian Lovell, and Dan Lovell, as they will win the overall team race here tonight for Team Gold Dodges. But that's going to conclude our coverage tonight. Thursday night, we continue on the 62nd season of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge Series, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The green flag will fly at Talladega Super Speedway. Hopefully, Michael will be there with me for that one. But, Michael, appreciate you joining me here tonight for this race from Talladega Nights. I think he's already fallen asleep. He definitely has. He's dreaming about his pancakes. But thank you all so much for tuning into our coverage once again here this evening.
Did my hearing go out?
Oh, hello? I think he's having...
Hold on.
Hi?
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Sorry. Little audio issue on my end. I'm
No,
okay.
that's okay.
Okay,
I said
repeat the
I
question.
covered for you. I said that you went to bed and dreamt of pancakes.
Oh, well, pancakes are good to eat.
They are. Are they good to dream about, though?
I don't know. I don't usually dream about eating. That's
you
strange.
don't dream about... Okay. Well, dream about pancakes tonight, then.
Hey, apologies, I didn't mean for that audio error. My bad.
Nope, you're good. But thank you, everybody, for tuning into our coverage here tonight. We'll see you guys on Thursday night as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.